Hey, grace and peace, everybody. Fair use.
Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? Can we spend some time just to say a little prayer or two? You're my constant source. You're my all in all. The day spring from whence I draw. Help me sing, y'all. Can I talk to you? Can we spend some time just to say a little prayer? Just to say a prayer or two. You're my constant source. My all in all. The day spring from whence I draw. Oh, majesty, majesty, how I worship thee.
So type, all right, I see everybody popping up now. I see everybody popping up right now. Type a one if y'all can hear me with no, let me turn this down, with no echo, with no problem, no lag. Sister Wokefield, good to see you. Good to see you, Tony, Stevie. I see Terrence Jones. I can't with these people. Let me just shout to Barbara. Let me just. No problem. Because it seems like it's going in and out. Let me see the sound. Let me just go over here for a second. No sound. We're gonna say no. Well, no, I got it off right now. Let me walk over here for a minute. I got this box too hot. All right, that could be it. I got this thing on the ground over here. Y'all know I got that little boy. I'm with that little boy. We got the
And we spend some time just to say a little prayer or two. You're my constant source.
Where did we go wrong yesterday? The ladies were supposed to jump on. Bishop's sister was chopping it up with honestly. And then what we really planned was for the brothers to come on after. Shout out to the brothers from NHIT. They came on and we started chopping it up. Everything was going good. I told them they can get the mic and we were going to ask them some questions. I seen one or two. And the first question, I believe, came in from Red Letter. Now, they don't know who's Israel over here and who's not Israel, but Red Letter, I believe, asked the question. I hope you told Judah Rise that she was invited, brother. I hope you did tell her. I don't want nobody to feel some type of way. And Jay Jacks and oh boy, I told them before why I'm coming out the car spot and I look down and I see emails. I seen a bunch of emails. I don't even click on the button, but I seen one from feel some type of way. I bring church people on here. I bring the bishops on here. I bring elders from every tradition on here. I get cats from behind the wall and gave their heart to the Lord, and they trying to do something new, and y'all ain't got no respect for nobody. I got to start a new channel. Y'all ain't got no respect from nobody. Cats done came home. Cats done did plenty time. When they feel some type of way coming over here, can't y'all see it's y'all? Can't y'all see something wrong with y'all? You just get any old type of Hebrew Israelites over here. I'll be like, boy, I'm telling y'all, I feel some type of way. I gotta stop the video. I want to know if it's the sound. Nope, I don't want to play that. Let me go back and look. You have to go back about 2 minutes. You went out. This is a problem. This is a problem. I want to make sure I'm not going out. I'm just going to be silent for 1 second. Let me just wait for a minute. I got a method here. Let me put my headphones on. I can do it that way. I want to make sure I'm going straight for a solid minute, 5 minutes. Let me hear this thing. I want to make sure I'm going straight for a solid minute. Okay. Let me just let this hold. Tell me if you hear the song all the way through before I don't know what this could be.
Can I talk to you?
If you hear the song all the way through.
Can I talk to you? Can I talk to you? Can we spend some time just to stop my all in all?
All right, type of one if y'all can hear me with no problems now. Silence of the Lambs doctrine. Oh yeah, before I even get going, then I'm going through the emails and stuff now and then. This email is regular messenger and it's Facebook, and then my regular text for people that's calling me directly to my cell phone. Van Harris, you think Elder Joe had them hemmed up, or they had Elder Joe hemmed up? Because somebody was worried. They said, "Oh my goodness, if Bruce is agreeing with Elder Joe, we got serious, serious problems right here. We got serious problems right here." But I'm trying to figure out where it come from, where it started from. All right, so you sound pretty good right now. Before I get into the whole thing, then I'm gonna tell you about Bishop's sister. Bishop's sister want to know what about that spooky? I said, oh, that's my man from Pastor Mike walking on water. She just flung her hand away like she didn't want to hear none of that stuff right there. You asked about him. I'm trying to explain who he is. They got a problem. Let's just let me get on my Rodney King stuff right now. Why can't we all just get along? Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Let me see if this thing works. If it doesn't, matter of fact, let me go straight to the EO church. Let me go straight to the Catholic guy for a second. And then if he's talking right, I'll know if it's Abu and them, or I have an idea where this thing is coming from. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna look at the comments. That's a good one right there. I don't want that. This might be it right here. Is this it? Your internet was restored. All right, let me see if it works this way. Type of one if you hear this. No, I got to do it another way. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Let me see. I'm gonna read the comments. I see y'all talking. I'm gonna read comments in a second. Let me just make sure this thing is. Did I go out at all whilst I'm talking? Did I go out at all?
At the Last Supper, when he says you need to do this in memory of me. About what I'm just telling you.
All right, here
He's
you
a
go.
Jew up until that point. It used to be you took a lamb, you scored it.
All right, tell me if you can hear this and you can hear me at the same time. And then I'll read the comments. I know we're good.
Jew. His mom's a Jew. His stepfather's Jewish. He's Jewish. The Catholic Church starts on actually literally and figuratively at the Last Supper.
Red Letter, where you at? Shout out to Jim Green. He hit me. Tell y'all Catholics watching now, folk want to get it on. He been bothering them folk now. He said, no, y'all can't hear me? Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Leo was doing his thing. All right, that's what Terrence Jones said. I mean, Tony Osborne. I tell you what the first lady said. She hit me. She said, who are them dudes right there? Then Sister E gonna hit me back talking about you just get all type of Israelites up here on your channel. Like I'm just scraping the. Be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. All right, tight. All right, I think they can hear me. Tell me you hear. Let me see if you can hear this Catholic guy. And I'm gonna just play the video. I'm gonna tell y'all a piece of my mind.
When he says you need to do this in memory of me. Think about what I'm just telling you. He's a Jew up until that point. It used to be you took a lamb, you scored it in the form of a crucifix, but now
he was a Jew up until that point. Now I'm not gonna lie, them brothers from NHIT, they ain't gonna take nothing laying down. They ain't gonna take nothing laying down. Somebody's out here talking nonsense. Somebody's out here lying. Now remember what Elder Green said. Shout out to Elder Green. I spoke to him a little while ago. We trying to figure some stuff out. He said ultimately it was by faith. He said that from the gate. How many people been coming in here claiming that they know for sure they bloodline? Garfield is wicked. We're gonna talk about all of that, but I want it to see if Red Letter. I only want to hear from a few people. Russell Higgins and them was here. I only want to hear from a few people. Today, I only want to hear from a few people. Listen to this right here. Tell me if this is nonsense, Red Letter, and then we're gonna go from there. I think we good. I think all the technology good right now.
His mom's a Jew. His stepfather's Jewish. He's Jewish. The Catholic Church starts on actually literally and figuratively at the Last Supper. when he says you need to do this in memory of me. Think about what I'm just telling you. He's a Jew up until that point. It used to be you took a lamb, you scored it in the form of a crucifix, but now he's taking bread. That's the start of the church. He doesn't come as a Mormon, Islam, Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal. He comes as a Jew. Catholic means according to the whole. That's right. It becomes so popular, it becomes universal. Hang in there with me. I'm telling you where we're going. In other words, that if you gathered in one place, you listen to the readings, you sing the Psalms, and you break bread, you're no longer a Jew, but you're Catholic. Not Christian, Catholic. For 16 years.
Let me stop right there. I'm going to stop right there because Seminary Kobe listening. Where Kobe at? Where Kobe at? Y'all hear what he's saying? Everybody out here talking. Everybody doing a form of apologetic for their belief in their system, their set of traditions.
1,600 years, you're either Jew or you're Catholic. What I'm trying to tell you is that we're true. So when we sing the Psalms, it's because of our Jewish tradition. How do we know what Luke and them were singing? Because the Psalm ties to it. Man, the goodness of the earth, the Spirit comes out upon the waters. And then all of a sudden, they would be singing it again when St. Paul goes, if you will, to Corinth. That's how we know it connects. It's the bridge that connects. But here's the point. When the Jews, remember, 90% of the people are illiterate in their day. How do you get them to remember anything? Tell them a story, a parable, sing a song. That way they can remember the words. This particular song means a lot to Jews. Why? Because in the very dawn of creation, the first 30 words of Scripture, in Genesis, he talks about the Spirit blows over the waters. In the beginning, God created the world, and the Spirit blew over the waters. And then John says, in the beginning was the Word.
Did we see any interference yesterday? Did we see any interference yesterday? Somebody said you seen interference and other interference. I co-signed it. Kobe came and ran and backed up Leo running interference. Because Leo was hot to get to the Hannah Adams. They wanted to get to that. I'm talking to the other elder. He was like, nah, this is reading comprehension mixed with some identity problems. We got a problem here. How many people did we hear come on this channel say I'm bloodline descendant? All of the people that came over here were bloodline descendants. Then we go back and start looking at some sources, and the sources said something different. Oh, yeah, we got Mrs. Soft Voice interference. She came on for show. I call that all interference. We're going to talk about it. I'm putting a link out there. I don't know. They said the link is the beef. Brothers felt ambushed. What type of people are y'all? Now, me and my brokenness, I said, well, look at God, Avery and everybody. I said, well, look at God. The whole thing has come together. And it seemed like they were asking for the Hebrew of Israel. It seemed like they were asking for certain individuals. Hello. Like they were asking for certain individuals, and by God's mercy, they were here. Somebody go get a boo. I'm gonna try to straighten some of this stuff out right now. Y'all gonna be offended. People gonna be mad. But red letter, we gotta judge it. You were here. Who else was in here? What's Deacon Armor Bearer name? Deacon Armor Bearer was in here. Timothy Isaac, he was in here. Russell Higgins was in here. A few people was in here. GNM was in here. J. Jax was in here. Judah Rise was in here. Do me a favor. Tell me all who was in here yesterday. I'm saying names. I ain't playing with y'all. I'm saying names. I'm tired of this. Matter of fact,
the word was
you alone for a minute and let me get straight to this video. Let me shut this down and get straight to some of these videos and some of this discussion. I'm gonna play some of this because the brothers went and they were on vocab, and they didn't want to be identified or classed with the camps. Did y'all deliberately class them with the camp? Let me close this. I'm closing all of this up. I don't want none of this running right now. Let me see. Maybe it's right here. All right. He said he was here. We're going to get all who were here. We're going to get right into it.
You'll be interested to know.
I'm going to start playing. Well, who had that song, Red Letter? Where did we go wrong? Lou Rawls?
They
I need to talk some old times. These youngins don't know who had that song. Where did we go wrong?
have some bones to pick with me, and also we want to have a fruitful dialogue at the same time. I'm going to let them introduce themselves here in just a second, but they represent the Nazarene Hebrew Institution of Technology, NHIT. And you're going to meet Yashia and Barawak in just a second. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Street Apologists Live. All right, let's get underway. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the program. Let me give you a round of applause. As a guest, there we go. We have Barawak and Yashia from the Nazarene Hebrew Institution of Technology. I will let you introduce yourselves and tell the audience about NHIT.
Go ahead, Yashia.
I'm Yashia. I'm the captain of the temple. I guess you would consider me the instructor. We put together the teachings, and we service the people. I service the people, the community. Do you have any specific nodes that you want to be made aware of?
You guys are in Virginia, correct?
We all over the place.
Okay.
Chicago, Virginia, Detroit, Michigan, North Carolina. This particular community.
If people want to reach you or find you, do you have any way online or anything they can get a hold of you?
Yes, we have a YouTube channel as well that we just created. It's Nazarene Hebrew Institute of Technology. We're just getting started. We're a brand new community. We're just getting started. Like he said, we're all over the place. I'm in Virginia. We plan on hopefully buying property here in Virginia for ministry. But currently we're on Zoom, and we have live Zoom services on YouTube. Monday, 8 p.m. is a Q&A. Tuesday, 8 p.m. is a women's group. And Friday and Saturday, Friday, 8 p.m. Shabbat and 2:30 p.m. Shabbat, we are live as well. All those
on
days
Saturday.
On Saturday, 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm sorry, is our Shabbat service live on YouTube as well via Zoom. Okay, so we're just getting started, and we're fairly new.
All right. All right, excellent.
As a group, not as a practice.
Just as a group, yes.
What do you
Been
say?
in practice for decades. He said not as a practice, but as a group. We've been in the truth for decades. Yes.
Okay. Yashi, I don't know if you have a volume you could turn up just a little bit. I got you up as loud as I can, or maybe a little closer to the microphone. You're a little quiet.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Is that better?
Works. Yeah, we may have to do it that way if you can. Yes. Okay. So what do you guys want to talk to the people about or talk to me about? I'll give the audience a brief background. Barawak reached out to me. Was it on Facebook? I think it was on Facebook, and said, "Hey, I have some."
Barawak, my vocab can pronounce my man name better than me. My brother name better than me. I just said NHIT brothers. I'm not good with all these names y'all coming all up in here with. But Barawak, he seems to be the front man, the media man that's willing to get out there, speak, connect with people, and then he'll bring the pastor. So we were chopping it up the day before. Everything sounds good. I put the link out there. Leo, anybody want to jump on, or Kobe? If Kobe want to jump on, and we have to deal with some of this stuff, as far as the sources. He admitted that he likes the brother Dante. They really like him, and we've been trying to get into some history, and some people wanted to know certain things. Let's see what's being said here. One of the main concerns was so many of y'all were attacking them, and y'all were basically saying that this is camp stuff, minus the, white folk kissing our boots. Basically, y'all saying it was nothing but camp doctrine. Deja vu. Here we go again. I'm talking about y'all are ignorant in the comment section. You don't care who's on the panel. Y'all ain't got no, that's why I said I got another channel. I might as well start the other channel. Y'all, and all type of folk getting mad. And I know with other people coming on, I know what they're going to try. Things just happen, y'all. things just happen. What's their doctrine? I don't know what the doctrine is. I'm trying to figure it out. I figured I'd let the brothers talk, and they just started attacking, equals questioning. Y'all, I'll play some of it. Let me get some timestamps. Let me look at this back chat.
Questions for you. I'd like to show you something. And so he sent me a brief video. It was 11 minutes. I did end up watching it the second time he sent it, of course. And just kind of as an introduction to some of their beliefs and things that they don't believe. And you and I had maybe a 20, 30 minute conversation on the phone.
I like the fact the brother said, he said, yo, our parents and grandparents come from Christianity. We ain't gonna knock down Christianity or people wanting to use the name Jesus and stuff like that. So my thing is, the only person, like Elder Green has said time and time again, so one thing I don't like is people trying to tear Christianity down. Outside of Elder Green, I do not believe I know any Israelite. I might as well put it out there. Any Israelite. They can always try to blow some shots. Always try to blow. I ain't got no problem with Christianity, but they blowing shots at but y'all on the Sunday, like y'all all right, but y'all just, when y'all gonna learn that Sunday ain't what y'all looking for? When y'all gonna learn that, y'all beneath us? When y'all gonna learn that fringes is it? When y'all gonna learn that, how many gates? And they'll start saying, they say ain't got no problem with Christianity, but they'll start that nonsense about how many gates. It ain't but 12 gates and all that garbage. And that's blowing at Christianity. Elder Green, the only person that I know that'll say, yo, I don't like when people start tearing down Christianity, but some people say they don't got a problem with it. But as they talk, their issues are going to rise, and they are at war with Christianity. Let's let it go.
And then you said you wanted to talk about some things live and as well. And I said, okay. And so we worked out a time, and now here we are.
Yes, sir. So one of the questions I wanted to ask, like I had told you in the past, I kind of felt like the perception I had of you, I thought you were racist.
Let me ask you a question. He's going to bring out some good points. Let me ask you a question, Red Letter. Do you think it's equal now? People already know this channel right here, almost everybody that's somebody that's been in Israel came through here. You think Vocab opens up his floor and shares and want to have dialogue and not just speak? Because some people say, well, some apologists, they'll never bring on an Israelite. They'll just be talking and talking, but don't say what. Let us come and represent what we believe. Do you think I know y'all act like we ain't fair over here, but I think I'm among, this channel, we are among the most fair. We have heard people out time and time again. They done wore our ears out. Do you think Vocab is fair? Because they want to come around and let people know we're not like the other people. They want to let people know. So they're openly campaigning. Yo, let me jump on the channel. Let us come and speak our doctrine and say where we from so y'all won't confuse us with them. They don't want to be lined up like with the camps. I personally believe that there's two forms of Christianity. There's a fake Christianity. Okay, the bootleg, yes. Okay, and the Christians in that form. And then it's the other true Christianity. But what do you think about Vocab and the platform being open? And they were welcomed over there. As a matter of fact, my brother right here that's speaking, he wanted to see Kobe. And let me stop, because I'll call him Kobe forever. Just joking around. I'll never be able to get his name right again after hearing that Kobe. I said, that's Kobe right there. Not Kobe Bryant, but that's Kobe right there. And they opened up the floor, and they want Leo, they want y'all to come over there and share some things. And they're going to bring the sister on and talk about the book of Acts and where some things went wrong. I got 3 emails alone because they want to know about the manuscripts.
Remember, I told you
really
that.
Away.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I perceived that was because of the way that when you do go in and you do these videos on the Hebrews, it seems like you lump us all in one under one umbrella. And so a lot of the doctrines that they have, we don't agree with it. We don't subscribe to it at all.
Y'all think Vocab lumps? For a Christian apology, y'all think Vocab lumps? Wow. Type of one if y'all think Vocab lumps, or Vocab really attempt to do a job to separate camps and the difference with the doctrines in the camps. And because some people feel that my man, when he said, you know, the camps, and what doctrine did he say yesterday about what the camps believe? I said, wait a minute, I don't know if all camps believe that. Look at up next, their beef right here. Vocab is charitable. I believe he is.
And some of the things that I heard you say when you speak in reference to certain camps or whatever, you kind of seems like you kind of like put everybody in that same group. And I think that's not very good because we all don't have the same doctrine, you know, and I think when you should be more specific when you do mention these camps or whatever, because for instance, for example, Divine Prospect, I heard you mention his name is Zion Lex. Those two brothers.
And he mentioned those two brothers before, like he liked them and their doctrine, or they're not like a camp. I don't know if Vocab ever connected them with camps. Do you believe, now I'm going to ask the same question, do you believe camps go as far to separate? No, those are oneness apostolic, those are Pentecostals. No, that's AME. They're Christians, but they're part of the AME denomination. Do you think Israelites and Israelite channels go far to explain? No, those are Roman Catholics. They're different from Protestant and the various Protestant denominations. Do you think they go out their way to explain and educate people on Protestantism and what's the Eastern Orthodox, or they just say that Christianity, Eurocentric Christianity? Y'all love to, you tell me, I'm just asking y'all. Kobe said absolutely not. But they want to be treated very, very fairly, everybody. That's like the master said, do unto others. Hey, God. I ain't got no fringes on, but I know that part right there. Do unto others. You promoting and you want it done. No, we do not. He said, no, we do not, Berean. Or Phineas, what's good? I think I had your video. I don't know what happened. Pastor Pork Chop. Yeah, everybody's a Pastor Pork Chop. Oh, Phineas got a point here now. If they don't know no better, Phineas said, we don't know the difference. We haven't really studied it enough. I shouted Gorilla Hebrew. I remember you saying that they didn't really know about, the Trinity till Vocab really, really broke it down. Then they said, then we could bang. At least we had a better understanding of it. All right. We got some stuff here.
We stand behind very well. We're not part of their community, but we stand behind those two, and they don't have camp doctrines. And, I know View and Zion been going back and forth with videos, and but I know that they don't subscribe to a lot of these camp doctrines. So I just think when
I want to stop right here. I can't even get on with a video. Haywood said, Covey needs to get out of his feeling he's a convert, accept it. I guess, Kirtland, you believe you pure bloodline, right? The brother on here, the Moray on here, I believe he said he was pure too on the slave ships. Then they came talking about, well, what about them people over there? Do y'all judge them people? No. You bloodline, you pure, right? Like Bruce, let me call Bruce. Where's my phone? Bruce is pure and Covey is a convert. Right? And he just got accepted. And then we fight. Muck Runner fought with y'all for 4 months straight on the convert. And y'all said the convert ain't jack. Convert ain't nothing. They all right, but they beneath us. They ain't bloodline. And that's so different from what other people say about the converts. It seems like even what the Bible itself say about the converts. But I forgot, y'all got converts and God-fearers and proselytes. Y'all got them all strange. Y'all got them all mixed up together. And then when y'all go tell us to go to sources proving that y'all are pure, them same sources I'll let Covey and them tell y'all. Where Leo at? I want to have Leo home.
You speak, it gives us a fair chance that you speak specifically about who you're talking about, because when we meet people on the streets and the first thing the person said, oh, you're Hebrews, like you got people kissing your feet, you got people doing this, you know how those doctrines go. So I think you should be more specific. So that was one of the questions I wanted to ask was, does direct.
And then my man asked for Hebrew or Israel. Shout out to him. Where am I go find him right now? Like he ain't got his number. Start bothering these people. Then y'all want to ride off of Dante DNA? Because of statements y'all heard made, all of y'all want to ride off of Dante DNA? And my man right here, this brother right here in the middle, his DNA may be a little different. But they ain't all of y'all DNA, but then y'all mad at Garfield. What y'all thought Ebri was going to say? This ain't, yo. These folk don't even know Cola Hamberland. They don't even know where they be cutting themselves. They bringing up sources to disrespect themselves. We gotta, y'all tell me what to do. At this point, I don't know what to do. People just email. Matter of fact, let me stop right here. I said I promise y'all, I'm going to try to stop. I'm going to try to stop Timothy Isaac right there. Now you say DNA is trash. Some people want DNA. Timothy Isaac, he only wants scripture. All right. Let me try to read. And like I said, the amount of emails, I know it's another level that we dealing with. The emails been coming, but the intensity to which they're coming with right now. Let me read one email, one or two emails in between these videos. I'm going to read an email or two. Is it this one? Is it this one? Here's one right here. Listen, type of one if y'all can hear me. Where is it at? Let me see. Where is he at? Listen, I listen to your channel. Type of one y'all can hear me. Marian, he said, I listen to your channel frequently. I have a type of one if you're in here. I see your name at the top of the thing, but type of one if you're in here, just to let them know. Because some people be like, I can't make this up, y'all. This is ill. I listen to your channel frequently. I have to admit, your regulars irritate me. I think that they are clueless about life in America. I get sick to my stomach listening to a bunch of educated Negroes who are naive as hell when it comes to the tactics of the white bottle. I am from Mississippi, and I wish I could get a few of those blind Negroes, that's you folk in here, few of those blind Negroes to come here and see how the white man loves them. And he say, check this out. And he sends me this video. Matter of fact, I'll say this is his, when you see him in the comment section, his name is Litmus Test. Y'all seen that name come up in the comment section? This is just one of a few emails I've received. Y'all see how they all around just saying stuff to the sister and cameras are out? Seems like she's standing her ground. I don't know the context, but this is what it is. And he said, I wish y'all could come to Mississippi and see some of this. You educated Negroes. People are upset. People are mad. This alone puts the identity issue to the forefront. Why everybody hate us? Bishop's sister, she right in there. Bishop's sister said the same thing. She was like, listen, when it comes down to it, if everybody got to find themselves in the scriptures, listen to this, Leo. Go find Little Joe, somebody, please. I hope he's in the car listening to this. And women got to find themselves like blacks had to find themselves in the scripture. If you're oppressed anywhere you are, when you crack the Bible open, you want to find yourself in the book. What's that? Look about you educated Negroes in here, and he said, y'all see how they talking to her? He said, I live in Alabama, so now what? Are y'all blinded to some certain things? Oh, it's excellent. We know you ain't seeing it all for what it is. He said, I'm in Mississippi all the time. Terrence Jones, this is I'm talking about these ignorant people. Tell his country self to get out and see the world. I'm gonna just stop the video. I'm gonna read one. I'll go through a few more of these emails. I can't make this stuff up. Let's get back to these brothers and hear what these brothers have to say. or people in search of identity or Eurocentric Christianity have a lot of y'all blinded, and y'all want to question every single thing. Black man can't be nothing. Y'all don't question those people over there.
Correct question is why do you do that?
My
You lump
view
us
is
all
that
together.
so you guys feel like I lump Hebrew Israelites together. I feel like I almost always say names. In fact, that's one reason why I get in trouble. I'm almost always explicit and specific. And in fact, I think the term One West, as far as non-Hebrew Israelites using it, became known primarily because I started using it to designate a certain kind of Hebrew Israelite. And so people weren't really, except for UPK and maybe some of the old timers.
Oh, you in Mississippi too? Oh, okay. I ain't even know that, red letters.
Most people were not bandying about the term One West. Now, if you go on the apologetics internet, as far as Hebrew Israelites and Christians are concerned, One West is somewhat known. And I specifically put it out there. And in fact, my little book on Hebrew Israelism, there's a chart little section, and I have little categories and different descriptions of what folks believe. And you see that they're not all lumped together. And even in that book, I talk about non-camp Hebrew Israelites, like Israel of God, whom I complimented. And we used to use the term moderates, but then some of the moderates some of the moderates wanted the term moderate, but then some of the other guys didn't.
And they were offended. People try to bend over backwards to please and understand everybody that's claiming they're Israel. Outside of that parody thing with vocab, outside of that right there, have vocab been straight up? I think vocab has brought to the church more understanding on Israelite camps, non-campers, than almost anybody else. Keep it a buck, y'all. Give credit where credit is due. A lot of these people in the Christian church and them James White and the light bottle over there, they know about One West, and you folk really deeply through vocab. He don't say everybody but teach the rape doctrine. I think he's been thorough with me personally. Y'all tell me if y'all agree. Y'all can type a 1. If not, even if you feel whatever you feel about him, as he put it out there to try to distinguish between the camps and explain the differences in the camps. And I think vocab got a good bit of books he bought on this thing. Him and Abu went in. The camps wasn't going to tell y'all that what's the brother grandson that got the light-skinned kids that's over there speaking that Yiddish in the school living in Israel, a founder of One West. The camps ain't telling y'all that. Vocab and them one dig that up. Vocab Abu and them one dug that up. I think they've been thorough in some research. Stamped up passports, went all to Europe with this. I think vocab put work in. That's me personally. Folk will feel some type of way about the parody and not understanding it, and that whole thing that jumped off with him and Jay the producer back in the days or whatever. But outside of that, putting out the information, let's keep it a buck, y'all. Whatever y'all feel about him, have vocab put in work. Type of 1.
So they got upset and didn't like the term moderate. So we tend not to, at least I tend not to use that term anymore. But I'll sometimes say non-camp Israelite or something like that. But I guess what I would say back to you is I don't agree that I do that. I think I'm more careful than any Christian apologist out there, because I think even though I'm still learning, I think I understand the differences between the groups and leaders better than most Christian apologists. And as a little shot back at y'all, I do better than most Hebrew Israelites when they talk about Christians. Hebrew Israelites are really bad about lumping all Christians together.
We were just asking that question. Now let's see how they accept that.
They often don't understand the difference between denominations. A lot of Hebrew Israelites I met thought apologetics was a denomination of Christianity.
They thought apologetics was y'all. Is he lying? The other dude said Mike Holloway in the apologetics. A lot of them think apologetics is one denomination. They don't know it's made up of people from different denominations. They don't even know that, the simplest stuff. That's how I can't play games. You gotta respect people like my man right here, Phineas, and he said we didn't know enough. He said people didn't know enough. Keeping it a buck. Why it's so hard to find folk just to keep it a buck? To come in a cipher so we can all talk and try to learn from each other. Why? I say it's gang banging. There's no other way I can put it. I don't know what else to say.
Christianity. When it's a practice, it's an art and a science. It's not a denomination. And so I find that a lot of Hebrew Israelites will say those Sunday Christians, those Roman Christians. And as a Protestant, the appellation of being a Roman Christian, when our theological
Bruce do that too. Hit this lump of the Eurocentric. J. Jack said he's literally lumping them all together. Why? Explain. Oh yeah, he just ready to get. He does be just ready to get that work in. To give y'all that work, I'm telling y'all, they feel Elder Joe and y'all. Oh man, let me just.
Forebears died being persecuted and sometimes against Roman, machinations, especially in extreme Counter-Reformation tactics. We find it utterly ludicrous to be lumped in with Roman Christianity. So I would say, unless you have examples, I hear what you're saying, but I don't agree. In fact, when I did the boot kissing video, because I have done a couple of videos, I specify who I'm talking about, and it's mainly ISUPK and Sakari. Not even the camps out on the street do much boot kissing. You hardly ever see IUIC do it. You'll see old GMS rarely. It's mainly two groups now. Well, there's spinoffs of those groups now who are imitating them, but those are the two most well known. Like there's some camps down in Florida and Georgia who are into boot kissing, but they're kind of like Sakari copycats. But so I don't really agree. If you had some specifics, because I almost always name names.
Okay,
Yeah,
so hold on.
Go ahead, Yashia. Go ahead.
Why don't we speak about our differences with these camps? Because I understand what he's saying now. He's been lumped into something that is unfair. I believe we have as well. So he's given us an explanation of apologetics and the different denominations that I'm familiar with, nearly all of them. So I get what he's saying. So let's talk about this Nazarene worship that we practice.
Okay.
So you now have a group of Hebrew Israelites that stands firmly with hand in hand with any Christian and any other believer that believes in the doctrine of 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
The gospel.
Had a Messiah, yes, the true gospel. Had a Messiah die for us, according to the scriptures, how he was buried, and how, according to the scriptures, he rose the third day.
Amen.
We're going to toss some John 10:30 in there, how he and the Father are one. We're going to toss some John 14:6 in there, how he's the way, the truth, and the life. And it's only one way. It's not many different ways. So we have that in agreement. Now we're going to implement the worship of the book of Acts into that ideology and that walk. And
now, why is the book of Acts so important? Do me a favor. Hello, little mother. How long we spend time in book of Acts going back and forth, even with Jay and Pastor Mama and everybody jumping on this descriptive, this prescriptive, and deep in Acts, Paul keeping the feast, the Nazarite vow, shaving his head, Timothy getting all this stuff that we reading in Acts. How long we've been going in on Acts? But they feel Acts is the key. Because if we see law keeping post-resurrection and y'all said these things were fading away, it's a problem there. Some people say it's settled, but others are saying no. They don't want Galatians 3. There's certain things they don't want. It seems like Paul's contradicting them, but they're saying we don't really understand. Pastor Johnson in Florida, he's not a camper, but it seems like some people believe they're teaching just like Pastor Johnson was teaching. Yeah, you should get circumcised. You're not in sin, but the right thing to do is not to eat no pork. I ain't gonna say you ain't going to hell, but it's. I'm gonna let it play. I want to get to that.
Here you have us. You have a group that stands by Acts 21:20, Isaiah 8:16 and 20, and Revelations 14:12. And we can give you 3 witnesses for that. We believe that our salvation is obtained through those beliefs that I told you. And
now 3 witnesses are just 3 passages of scripture. If we see it done in Acts, if Christ said to do it in Matthew, did the apostles do wrong or did we miss something? Did the apostles teach a starter pack? Did the apostles expect all of the church of Antioch to keep the feast days, put on fringes, stop eating pork, and not do like the shepherds? Where is he that's born King of the Jews? We have seen his star in the east, and we have come to worship him. Y'all can't celebrate his birth, the king that has come into the world. Y'all can't celebrate and call out a special day. The Israel could do it. When God delivered them, you know, with the whole thing with the candles, and they had the extra oil, they can do something that God ain't tell them to do. But we can't celebrate the king coming into the world. Glory to God in the highest. Seemed like the angels was even celebrating that thing, but we can't do it because we're caught in Eurocentric. Never mind. That
the accommodating or following works are how you are justified. That's what our walk is. That's what the Savior taught, and that's what is seen being moved out in under grace in the New Testament. We have problems with things that we cannot locate in Scripture.
Okay,
we condemn that.
And then, all right, you heard what he said. We got a problem with anything we cannot locate in Scripture. Ooh, this getting ready to get too good. This getting ready to get too good. I got to go back to where Leo and them, because some people claim it was interference. I'm going to play it back slow. Godson, what's good with you? We appreciate you, fam. I'm going to play it back slow. Godson, I'm asking you a question. Did Leo and them run interference? Did Leo and Covey run interference? Did Elder Joe run interference, or it was work that they knew not of? After not playing with y'all, after they say, yo, just name them manuscripts. Deal with these sources. This one talking about, well, what about the Jews over there? Y'all don't go deal with these sources. After said it 4 or 5 times, stop playing games. So I just want to know what actually happened yesterday. Let me stop right here, because I don't know how I don't fill that tank up. I might be getting on that road. But let me just I want to play some of this right here. I tell you, when I start seeing G in them in the email, in my email, I'm like, yo, too much email, a lot is going on. Sister E talking about hitting my jack. First lady hitting my jack, talking about, yo, where you get these Israelites from? Like the nerve of her. Bishop sister in there, she's like, what about that spooky? I was like, oh man, this is not good. This is not good. But y'all don't want to hear what Covey got to say. Because me and him, I'm like, Father God, this is not. Let me tell y'all something right now, because that's my sister. She's a little older than me. Don't think y'all can get her to act like she ain't got no sense. Because she gonna be, I'm younger than her, but she gonna be subject. Hey, God, I feel that in my spirit right there. I hope she ain't here. Let me open the door. Make sure she ain't there. Oh, she right there. She right there, ear hustling. She said, now I got to be, she asked us, Leo, we got to stick together. So when I tell you, never mind, I got to hit y'all in the back chat. Let me just, what's happening right here, Godson? I'm asking you, Timothy Isaac in here. Tell me the truth. Ryan Harris is in here right now, because he jumped on and he did say a few things. I'm like, they trying to blow shots. And some regulars try to gang up with them on some of us. I'm like, oh, that's how family do. You'll see anything at the cookout. When them certain cousins and them pull up in them Chevys, you'll see anything at the cookout. Fair use.
Take a calendar and see how your days line up on a calendar.
Stat, brother.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're counting your
it's not on a Hebrew calendar though.
No, if you're counting your feast of first fruits, 21 days.
No, 21 days has nothing to do with any of those feasts, sir.
I'm sorry. If you count,
I got 3 emails. Elder Joe was confused. And then Calendar Man himself, Bruce, was in here. He's like, nah, the brother's wrong. Elder Joe right on that. When you know Bruce to agree with Elder Joe. I'm like, nah, we might have to look a little further into this. And I know Elder Joe has studied a little bit. For Bruce to say that, I'm like, ooh, we got to hit the replay. This ain't even what I wanted to deal with, but we got to keep it a buck. Ready, Bruce? You don't laugh. You make sure you got your stuff ready for tomorrow night. This is tomorrow, the next day.
On the 7 days pass. Okay, so in between the Feast of Weeks, you got 7 days. Okay, you got a total of 7 days, right?
Oh, glory to God. Truth is like Sister Interference herself. Here we go. Good to see you, sister.
right?
Elder, say that
We're
again.
gonna have to pick this part back up, Elder Joe.
All right.
Yeah, we gonna come back to this.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll come back to this.
Yeah,
I
we'll
just
come
want to
back to that. And I'm gonna play the other
Yeah.
video on salvation. No, they Bruce said he believed they're off too a little bit on that, but that's not a big thing. Let's just deal with some of this before they get out of here. We're gonna play their video tomorrow, and hopefully we get them back on before the end of the week. It depends what their schedule look like. Go ahead, Leo. You wanted to add something on this?
Yeah, because I know, and I'll go to this one
Go ahead,
first.
I'm listening.
Yeah, because I know you guys say you guys read a lot, so you guys go through a lot of sources. And there was a mention earlier about Hannah Adams. So I guess you guys have read her History of the Jews source thoroughly.
We read this too. Go ahead.
So you read this too. So do you agree? Do you believe, just your view, that there were natural bloodline Jews on the slave ships that came to America?
I descend from one of them. Absolutely.
Okay, so if you read this source, if you read this source by Alan Godby, this is the section about the American.
No. I'm sorry. No. Not tomorrow. I'm jumping on. I might get on road tonight or tomorrow morning. I don't know what time I'm getting on the highway. Wednesday or Thursday. Just let me know whenever it is, Wednesday or Thursday. We'll try to figure something out for that.
American Jews that came on the slave trade. This is a direct quote from the source. He says it may be, but let's just say it may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America. I'm gonna read that again.
No,
he didn't say natural. He didn't say bloodline. He said it may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes,
partially Judaized Negroes. What does that mean to you? Or he brought up that source for a different reason, and Leo, like 2-3 of y'all people said, Leo just quick to want to shoot something down. He don't even want to hear a whole matter out. He heard what the brother wasn't saying. Partially Judaized Negroes sounds like original bloodline Israelites. What does partially Judaized Negroes, this yellow that's on the screen? Can I make this bigger? What does that mean right there? It may be considered that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America. What does those words mean, everybody? I want to park right here for a minute. Come on. Somebody said converts. He's a converts. All right, yo, I can't lie. Keep it in a buck. At least I see. All right. She said, in truth, light said it means nothing. Father God, let's just keep reading. Let's just converts. That part right there. A few people saying converts. Uh-oh. I ain't saying nothing wrong. Let me see my phone.
Converts on the ship. They was around us.
But he mentions nothing of bloodline ones.
We never said the whole ship was Israel, man.
We never said that.
He doesn't mention any bloodline though. He doesn't mention any bloodline though.
Yeah, but that's
let him make his point. Let him make his point, because I like that they bringing these sources out.
Yeah,
we got all of them.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm bringing out, because that's why I asked you the question first to preface it. If you believe that there were bloodline Negro Jews on the slave ship, because I know you guys adhere to this source. Even you brought up Hannah Adams, we can go through that as well, because she has a pretty much a whole history of how she sees the Jews in America. There's no mention of the slave trade.
She said, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. If we're gonna go to what she said, we gotta look at the whole work. The whole work she brings up the Jews in America.
They were converts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You a convert. You believe you bloodline, right?
Watch this. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
You bought this, so this is your book that you're using, right? Because
no, you remember last time? No.
All right, go ahead, Kobe. Look at filthy converts. Fervent charity, I ask you right now in Jesus' holy name. I said Jesus with J. Y'all better not bother me. How were we talking about converts? How were we talking about converts? Fervent charity. Good, Kobe.
Hey, I can't be on but about 5 minutes, but I just wanted to show something real quick based on what we were talking about yesterday that kind of started all this. whenever
I'm
there
sorry,
are
can you see with the Abraham thing? Can you read the screen? You
Yeah.
can see the screen or you driving. Just read that.
Yeah, so yeah, if you look at this, and this is the way they used it, Blue Letter
No, can you
Bible,
hear
right?
me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me talking?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that the brothers are on right now. They said, Berean, give me a call when you can so we can arrange some things. We want to speak with Elder Covey, and Spookism. Oh, Elder Joe, I guess, on certain topics we spoke about last night. Go ahead, Covey.
All right, so I want to get back to that video as well, but I just kind of want to show this while I got a brief moment, just to show how from the jump things were off. So we were looking at this section when Most Excellent brought up Genesis 20 and 12 to talk about Sarah being Abraham's sister, right? And he said, don't rely on the English because that could throw you off. He said, go to the manuscript. Now, what he's talking about, I think here is the Masoretic text. Right now, there are different things that contribute to the Masoretic text, but regardless, that doesn't really matter. My main thing, and what Most Excellent was saying, is what he was depending on was the Strong's root of the word that was being used. The way it's here is gam amna ahoti, right? Ahoti. This is this word right here for sister. Now here, the way it has it in the characters, it's you can see ahot, the root word of ahot, but it has a yod here at the end. Let me see if I can make this bigger, just so I can show everybody. Or it might be too big. No, that's good. That's good. So you can see it ends with a yod. It's ahot, but it ends with a yod. Now the purpose of that yod is it infers ownership, like mine. Like whenever you hear people say like shalom aki, instead of just saying shalom ach, because one means shalom brother, shalom ach means like peace brother, but when they say shalom achi, that means peace my brother. So this is saying achoti, meaning my sister. Now let me make it go a little bit down because I can't see the rest of it. So he said he wanted to say let's go to the actual word, and he wanted to show us how it changed. So he clicked on the Strongs for H269. Now, before even clicking onto the Strongs, look at the Hebrew parsing here. Parsing means breaking down this word. It shows the root of the word and then all prefixes and suffixes that changes the meaning of this word. And it shows here, ahot, and then the yod suffix, and it shows it down here what it means. Let's see if it actually brings up what it now.
And they're listening right now. Is Covey off? Is Covey off? Is this not how you use blue letter?
Now, I usually use logos, but this is like a pretty basic thing, so it's kind of easy to understand. But so achot and achoti, that's the reason it's a different word. Because look what happens. The word in the manuscript is achoti. That means my sister, right? And it shows it in that pop-up that it's kind of small, but it says first person common singular English, my sister. Now, if you click on the Strongs of H269, look what it does. It goes to ahot, transliteration ahot. Why? Because that's the root word. That's the basic word. Whenever you're learning your Hebrew vocabulary, they give you just the lexical form to learn. And then they give you charts to show my sister, your sister, first, second, third person, all different kind of things. But the thing is, if you can understand that root word of ahot, you can usually make sense of the prefixes and the suffixes to understand if it's my sister, your sister, or somebody else's sister, right? So to just show this part, there's no reason it should have gone beyond what Most Excellent was saying. The reason this says ahot here and seems to be a different word from the Masoretic text is because they went to Strong's, and Strong's only shows the basic form. Again, if we go back to it, the actual Masoretic text, what they're showing here, it says gam amna ahoti. Again, that yod is to show my sister. It's my sister. There's no way around the grammar of this. It means my sister.
Wait a minute, Covey. Wait a minute. He said if Covey will talk. Ruddy Bruce said Covey is off. That's not how you find a root word?
Look at the inflection here. Look at the inflection here. People, I don't want to go into a whole grammar, but look, it has it right here.
Go into it. Go ahead, man. This stuff has to be done.
Let me see if I can just do it like this. What does the yod at the end of a Hebrew word mean? Look, as a suffix, which is at the end, right? It indicates first person singular possessive. For example, the word av, father, becomes the my father when the yod is added as a suffix. Can y'all see this?
Yep.
This is
Oh, you
super
can-
basic stuff. Let me make it a little bigger too. 'Cause I know people
And Matt
sometimes.
said this is basic.
Yeah, this
It's
is super
pretty
basic.
basic. It's the daughter of my father. And my thing is, why can we find 8, 9, 10, 12, 18 English translation, different written by different teams of translators translating it and saying the same thing, but y'all saying this ain't that. So they said not only Covey, all the scholars that translated the RSV, the ESV, and all of them are wrong because they're dealing with the wrong manuscripts. Go ahead. I'm quiet.
Yeah, but again, I just wanted to show this real quick. And like I said, just everybody here, they just say, just Google it, right? So I just Googled it and it shows, for example, the word av, father, becomes avi, my father, when a yod is added as a suffix. This is, man, this is not debatable. You know what I mean? Now a yod does serve other purposes in different words for different reasons, but when it comes to this possessive, no, this is just the way it is. This is just the way it is. And unless they're going to use some other kind of Hebrew, you know what I mean? That's not real Hebrew. But in real Hebrew, you're like, this is just how it works.
All right. Ryan said, I've seen things that said what he said. Let me see. You see what Ryan Hammer said? They're saying that you're wrong. They're saying that you're wrong. The other brother said, y'all could jump on right now. The elder could jump on right now. I'll put the link out there. Dunamis, you don't really do Hebrew.
No, Kobe. Kobe. To go on what you're saying, could my sister mean like my sister because they're of the same people? You know, like how we as Christians say my sister, my brother, right? Maybe because they're the same people.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be the case?
I mean, if you want to do some Stretch Armstrong, if it's just that alone, that indeed she is my sister, and you want to kind of do some Stretch Armstrong, but then it goes further into saying she is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. Like it goes on to show further clarifying what he's talking about.
Yeah, Kobe. Hold on now. When he says daughter of my father, could it mean because they are the same people, so they have a similar ancestral father, not direct
Abraham
father?
married his stepsister. Wasn't nothing wrong with that.
No, at that time, no, there was no issue, and that's the whole thing. So if they're going to because when we went through this with Numandy and Storm, that they were Storm Mandy, was on a long time. That there seems to be a different law for Abraham. And then going to Deuteronomy 5, 2 and 3, it says that I haven't made this covenant with your fathers. So we know with every covenant there's a law. So it seems the law signed out with that covenant, Abraham wasn't under.
So red letter, you understand that red letter? Apostle Jack, yes or no? Van Harris, you hear me, elder? Was Abraham covenant the same? Was because the whole thing that brought up the argument and Met was trying to say no, this is something different. Did Noah have what we would call the Mosaic law? Elder Green is trading this out quick, fast, and in a hurry.
No, he couldn't have it.
Why not? Red letter, I'm asking you, red letter. You know I respect you. Red letter, did the laws of Moses, when we dealing with clean and unclean animal, and Cain and Abel, was their offerings based on the law of Moses and Mount Sinai? Or like Paul says, the law came 430 years after?
Brand, who was
be a liar? The English translators are wicked Gentiles that's confused. We're just trying to find out what's happening here. The floor is open.
Yeah, because Brand, with Noah, who was the priest who made the sacrifice? Under the Sinai law, who's supposed to make the sacrifices?
Come on. Even with Job, the priest. Boy, I'm good. Let me go.
So unless Abraham is a priest in some sense, But then we see that Melchizedek is a priest.
Like Job.
Yeah. When they make the sacrifice, he said it's the Bible scripture says sacrifice all clean animals. But in the Mosaic law, there's certain animals you can't sacrifice, but are clean to eat.
Okay, hold on. This could be what it is. Phoenix, what's good, sis? You said the NTIH brothers, they made the claim the laws existed during Noah's time. They made it sound, I got from the impression, I don't want to misrepresent them. I got from the impression the laws that they were talking about, the laws of Mount Sinai and Moses. But everybody had law. Kobe said that from the gate. Adam and Eve had Torah. That just means instruction. Don't eat from that tree. It's Torah. But when the Israelites see that Abraham obeyed my law, statutes, and commandments, everywhere they see law in the Bible, it's all back to the law of Moses. Sin is the transgression of the law. Got to go back to the law of Moses. Cain and Abel, wait a minute, Sodom and Gomorrah, did they commit sin? Oh, Apostle Jack on here. Apostle Jack, go ahead.
All right, this is what the address the care, hear me?
Yeah, everybody could. I mute myself.
Grace and peace, everybody. I just wanted to address this. So there's a difference between the law of Moses and the law and Torah. Torah is basically instruction. The law of Moses is basically the things that were added to Torah. Basically, like when the Pharisees is trying to condemn the disciples for eating bread with unwashed hands.
Yeah.
That's not Torah. That's a law. That's a tradition that was added later. It's basically Judaism is an interpretation of Torah. So Christ came, Christ's law is the right interpretation of Torah. So when we get to Abraham, yes, Abraham married his actual sister, but he was not under covenant when he did that. It's the same laws. God doesn't change. His ways doesn't change.
So the laws that Moses had about fringes and mixed garment and your wife in her period, Abraham had them laws?
Yep.
Oh, Father God.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And this is why the extra biblical texts are so important, because when you read Jubilees, you would see that Abraham actually practiced feast days. He was the first to practice Sukkot. He was the first to practice the Feast of Weeks. All of these things happen in Jubilees. It's literally a parallel to Genesis. So,
did Abraham practice Passover?
No, it didn't happen yet. It hadn't happened yet. He practiced unleavened bread though, but he didn't practice Passover. Passover started at Exodus. At the Exodus, like during the plagues. My bad. I said at the Exodus.
What would be the purpose of him practicing unleavened bread?
It's a feast. It's a feast day for the Lord.
Yeah, with unleavened bread for the Israelites, right? When they're leaving Egypt, right? It's a sign for them to do so. What's significant with him do to practice unleavened bread?
I don't know what you're asking.
Because there's a significance to why Abraham would do so. For Jubilees to say he practiced unleavened bread, to me, it sounds like it's written anachronistically. They're riding back to Abraham doing things that he might not have done.
No, so the purpose of unleavened bread is to remove the sin from your house for that 7 days. The unleavened bread represents sinlessness. So the aspect of it starting at Passover, right? That came later during the Exodus. That's when that law was instituted during their time in captivity in Egypt, right? But the reason why I came on here, I want to explain that Abraham, before he was in covenant, he married his sister. He didn't know any better. It's that I'm about to butcher this, but it's that thing that Paul was saying, where there wasn't a law given, you cannot hold them accountable for it. He didn't have the law then, but after, when he came into covenant with God, he knew better, which is why God cursed Lot for marrying and having sex with his daughters, because Lot knew better.
Wait, so, brother, what feast days did Abraham keep?
Sukkot, so that's Tabernacles, Feast of Weeks, Shavuot, First Fruits, it's the same thing, and unleavened bread.
With Sukkot, right? Tabernacles.
Yeah.
You have a tent.
Yeah.
Why is Abraham keeping Sukkot?
Yo.
What purpose does that serve Abraham?
I will have to read it. I can't really go and tell you without reading it. Hold on.
Kobe, you still here?
Didn't cover myself the
Yeah,
way.
no, sorry. I was looking up some Jewish commentary on Bereshit Rabbah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Kobe, I asked a question, right, with the feast days.
uh-huh,
Sukkot, tabernacles. We
uh-huh,
tabernacle in the wilderness, right?
uh-huh.
What purpose would Abraham have to recognize Sukkot?
What purpose?
Face
Yahweh,
out? Oh, sorry.
Yahweh instituted that due to their sin.
Okay. Because to me, it sounds like with Jubilees, if these feast days, it's not like it's written back into anachronistically. Like rabbinic thought writing back that Abraham kept these things. Like with unleavened bread, there's a purpose with Moses and the Israelites leaving Egypt. Sukkot, there's a purpose with the wilderness. So it just seems like with these feast days, so he just kept these feast days? Or were these feast days adopted from other pagan nations?
No, it was instituted by God as a eternal ordinance.
God instituted Abraham to keep Sukkot.
Yep.
Unleavened bread.
Jubilee 16:20-31. And he built an altar to the Lord, and he delivered him, and he was making him rejoice in the land he was sojourning. Because that's what it was. So when God told him, I will take you to a land to where I will show you, Abraham didn't have an established city to live in. So he was living in tents in the same way that the Israelites were living in tents when they came out of Egypt. Everywhere Abraham went, he was living in a tent. That was the land that his people would inherit later. The exact same land. He put a down payment on the land in Genesis. I can't remember what chapter it is. He bought land in Canaan. And when they went into Egypt because of the famine. And when they came out, everybody that was living in their land, that's why Rahab knew in Jericho that they were living in the Israelites' land. Everyone knew that.
You said Rahab knew that they were living in the Israelites' land.
Yes.
Brother, where are you drawing that from?
In Genesis.
Genesis says that, no. How you said Rahab knew they were dwelling in Israelites' land.
Yes.
Where are you drawing that from that Rahab knew?
Sorry, Joshua. My bad, I'm tripping.
Rahab knew they were dwelling in Israelite land, or they heard all the stuff that the God of the Israelites had done?
They knew that was their land.
Man, if you can reference the scripture, so I can just.
Yeah, I got you. I'm looking right now. I know it's in Joshua 2. Oh, no, I'm trying to find it. I have seen come from at the gate, able who do capable for the night. We heard the Lord dried up the water come. They heard the stuff when we heard of it. Lord is a God above the earth. Now we swear to the Lord. So kindness to the family, because I have known kindness in you, give you sure sign that you will spare a father and mother from death. Our lives are your lives, men. If you do not tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully. Give us when the Lord give us the land. We will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord give us the land. Rope. Okay. Oath and swear. Okay, hold on. Our lives should be here. And now, then, please swear to the Lord that you will show us kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father, my brother and sister, and all who belong to them, that you have saved us from death. Our lives are your lives. The man assured her, if you don't tell what we're doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land. Hold on. Really trying to see it. Switch this.
Is somebody talking, or I'm missing something?
No, he asked me a question. So he asked me about why Abraham was keeping Sukkot. And I explained why Abraham was keeping Sukkot. Abraham was keeping Sukkot because he lived in tents everywhere he went. The land that God gave him, he had to live in tents the entire time. So when the Israelites came out of Egypt, they lived in tents as Abraham did. Everywhere they went conquering the land. Moshe was the one that couldn't go into the land in his generation. After that, when Joshua went into the land to conquer, they lived in tents.
Brother, did I ask you about Rahab?
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
But
that's a support. That's a supporting argument. If I eisegeted that, my bad. Even if it's not in there, the reason why Abraham was keeping Sukkot, that's what I was answering.
Did they keep Sukkot in the wilderness?
Yes, that's
why. The Israelites. Did the Israelites keep Sukkot in the wilderness?
Yes.
I see the brother jumped on. Go ahead.
Go ahead and hear my man from NHIT.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Panel, peace and grace. Grace and peace. I just got a few things. I think that's unfair. I think yesterday was kind of a little confusing because of what we came on for. Well, it's okay. We got thick skin, but we dealt with like 7 different topics, and we didn't get a chance to really rightfully divide the word through none of those topics. So the reason why I hopped on is because I think it's only fair. Like how Kofi got up and used the Hebrew, said it was basic, but remember, spookism did go to the logos too. So what my proposal is, the topic about Abraham that we were discussing, with the discrepancy with that, we would like to talk one-on-one about that in the future. This is all future. The topic that Kofi thinks he brought out, my brother wants a special one-on-one with Kofi. For several topics that we couldn't get through, because everybody was asking a bunch of questions. So I think it's fair that we pick these topics that you guys are cross-examining, saying that we probably are wrong. I think it's only fair that we have a situation where we can arrange something that we can deal with certain topics one-on-one instead of jumping here. Because remember, Yashi, I supposed to showed you brothers that there were law before Sinai that was the identical laws at Sinai, but we didn't get a chance to get there because they had to deal with this topic and that topic, and we jumped around a lot, and nobody really got a fair chance to really explain, even you guys either. So everybody's coming. I got something to say. Hey, I got something to say, and I think it should be a little bit ordered because I think we got some information in these dealing with these scriptures that we can present a valid argument that how we feel about Abraham, how we feel about the feast first fruits. We don't agree that there's nowhere in the scripture on the 16th day, and no order for the feast days. But there's a lot of stuff we didn't get a chance to go to the scriptures and rightfully divide the word. So, with all due respect to the panel and to the Christian family, I don't want you guys to think that we Judaizers. We're not on here to try to tell y'all to keep the law, this and that. We just wanted to come on really and just say, please don't lump us under the umbrella with the camps. And some of y'all took it and said we still teach like the camps, which I can't believe. It's like if you read the scriptures and you read our core belief and look at our videos, we don't teach like that. And we tried to present that to Vocab, and he understood. I used to think Vocab was racist. I don't think that anymore. You know what I mean? I see why he attacked these camps. I see why, and he has every right. So with that being said, we're having a respectful call out to Kofi, to Spookism, and to Elder Joe for these particular topics so we can get together and do that. So does anybody want to accept the invite, or y'all can just go on and just say we wrong and show your information, and we have to respect that and move on.
All right, y'all heard that, Elder Joe. Separate, not all together, separate,
yes,
I believe, correct?
Yes.
Oh, Elder Leo, you're in here. Seminary Cove, I know you might be on the highway too, but you hear that?
No, but we can wait. We can wait till he come back.
No big thing. He just want to make it official for the record.
Right. I want an official call out with respect, a respectful dialogue. Amen. And Barine, for fairness, Barine, because you know we're not on our channel for views. We got a small miniature channel, and so we would like for you to come over and moderate it, and I stay out of it and let my brother deal with them one-on-one. So that way we're not double teaming them. Nobody in the chat is going to disrespect anybody and call them names. It'll be one-on-one with all these brothers individually on these specific topics that we were touching last night. And
okay, listen to this, everybody. This is important.
That's understandable, but he has to realize a lot of these topics have been discussed for the past 4 to 5 years here.
Okay, so if it's a no, that's no problem. I'm not forcing it, but you may have not discussed it the proper way. It might have been people that wasn't, no disrespect to them, it might have been people that wasn't that well studied on those topics. And I don't know.
4 or 5 years, you think all them people?
No. I said it maybe. I can't say that. I didn't see any of the topics. I didn't see any of them. But I mean, it's okay. I'm just looking at it. This is how I'm looking at it, Kareem. If you put somebody's information up and you cross-examine it, you know, people, you know, in this social media stuff that we got going on, people have formal debates and formal dialogues on what they agree and don't agree. So the people that, you know, that you guys might have dealt with you may have not dealt with someone in our caliber. Maybe so. I don't know. But we won't know until we arrange something. And if you guys refuse, that's okay. We're going to go on about our business and living our lives and trying to make it in the kingdom. I just thought that I was extending the branch to everybody because we got a lot of stuff to say and show. And we think also that a lot of stuff that was said was in error and we couldn't rightfully divide the word because we were dancing around different topics and never got a chance to explain a lot of stuff in depth that we disagreed. For example,
let me ask you a question. Do you think there were verbal attacks? Do you think there were verbal attacks in the comment section?
Now I will say this. There was a lot of our members in there. They feel like honestly that some people's comments were attacking us. But Bareen, we got thick skin, man. We've been in the
that's what I'm saying. We done been.
We don't feel that way. We looking at we had sisters. Okay, Bareen. So we had sisters in the chat. We had some teenagers in the chat. So people are always going to look at whether you Christian or supposed to be an Israelite. You're supposed to act one accord and act, respectful. I understand why. I try to explain to my community. You got to understand that I've been watching y'all. I've been home 8 years, so I've been watching Bareen a lot. My brothers.
Okay, you've been home for good.
I've been home 8 years, Bareen. I've been on Clubhouse and everything by myself before everybody came home. So I've been.
You was the first one out of everybody from yesterday that
come
came
home from my ministry, right? So I've been in these Clubhouse chats. I've been in a chat, and me and Divine Prospect was the only one debating the Torah only guys. But my point is to all this is I try to explain to our ministry that from what I've seen on Bareen's TV channel, on Sanetta's TV channel, these camps are so disrespectful. I understand why some of these Christians lash out because that's all they used to. So to see a ministry like ours might be kind of a little different because honestly, if you go back and look at the videos we had with Christians, you ain't getting nothing, even though we don't have thousands of viewers. We only got a couple of hundred subscribers. So you're only going to get 15, 20 people in the chat, but they're not going to be disrespectful. Not nobody from our community. And so that I try to explain to my ministry that you guys got to understand. We got a bad name as an umbrella. And so sometimes when we go on these different platforms, people is going to put you under the same umbrella. Especially if you are subscribing to keeping the law, they're going to treat you the same. So, yeah, they did feel like it was a couple of elders, women in there.
That's what I asked you, Aunt, little mother Gia. Are y'all mean over here? A lot of y'all are Bible believers. Y'all are born-again Christians.
Hey, Kareem, my wife just said, Kareem, my wife just said she was the main one.
Yeah, and then she had the nerve to say, oh, today I'm being good. Like today is.
Who was the main? Which one?
Gia. Gia.
I was like, wow.
My wife was really
Gia,
disappointed.
you hear that, Gia? How did you feel, Gia? Does that make you feel some type of way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had, again, Maureen, we had elders in there, you know what I'm saying? Elder women, and they still, a lot of them come from the Christian church now, so, it's understandable though, man. Look, we could take it. The brothers on the platform, we didn't have a problem with it. We just felt like we dealt with too much coming at one time. We couldn't stay on topic with one argument, and, we had to bounce over here. So we didn't get a chance to rightfully divide. But I understand what Duman is saying. If they don't want to come on, we'll come over there.
Elder, I was just reading Alton's comment. That wasn't me. All I was going to say to you with the discussion, with the help with the bouncing, to just have, it's probably best to have one specific topic.
And nobody deviate. Nobody.
Right. That's the topic. Right. That's what I said. I said there were various topics. Last night, if you were watching, it was like 7, 8 things we were going back and forth at.
So when you said you challenged Spook and Elder and Kobe to what we talked about last night, but what's the one thing you think is we most edifying to discuss? That one topic.
Well, my brother wanted to talk about Acts. Of course, the church, the established church, but nobody wants to really talk about that. So, I mean, the Abraham topic is okay. Well, you got to ask Kobe and them how they feel about it, Dumas, because that's who Spook was talking about, the Nazarite vow. So we didn't get a chance to elaborate on that. He spoke about the Nazarite vow. Did he complete the Nazarite vow? That's a topic that we wanted to talk about. They talked about Abraham and they talked about the Hebrew. That's a topic we wanted to talk about. Then they talked about the first fruits, and that it was a feast day and that it was on the 16th day. That's a topic we want to talk about because it's not in the scripture nowhere. So you can't just assume. So those are the topics, or we can pick something else that they want to talk about directly and stay on topic. But we just don't want to be bouncing around to 5 or 6 different topics because you're never going to get nothing established. Nobody's going to be able to present the truth that they feel and they stand on for their position. So, I mean, if not, it's okay, man. We just wanted to come on and be able to defend the gospel. And it's not about trying to, make this all salvational issues, because if you look at our videos, we don't subscribe to the law at all is not a salvational issue at all. I don't feel like if you're not keeping the law, you're going to hell. We can't tell people that. We don't teach that. We don't teach one thing that'll get you in hell. And if you're not believing in 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, that's it.
No, I'm with you. I see Alton jumped on, so I think I'm not sure you wanted to address you or.
Well, I just wanted to make that. If anybody else want to address real quick before I go, because I'm ready.
Alton's here. I think Alton wanted to.
No problem.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, grace peace, everybody. And I hear what the brother's saying. He's coming on with, respect. He's not trying to come on with beef. But one of the things I do want to say is that, and people it may seem like that people are being a little abrasive or obtuse, but it is not like people are trying to do that because they don't like you guys or they have a hatred for, Hebrew Israelites. It's the fact that in this community, people just want to get straight to the point. That's just plain and simple, because a lot of these arguments, like we've heard them a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like we done had Dante on, we done had Teo Ministries on. Rest in peace to Plumber. Plumber was a guy who used to come on and he used to have these same talking points. Actually, Plumber had started a YouTube channel right before he died, basically saying the same thing that you're saying now. So when it comes to having these dialogues and these conversations, people are just like, okay, well, when you use a source, they're like, okay, well, let's go to the book chapter, the book chapter and the passage that you're using, so we can go ahead and examine it. But not only let's just examine what you say, let's look at some other parts of the book that may be problematic, or let's even look at the background of the author to say, is even using that particular author is problematic as well. So, nobody's trying to be, disrespectful or anything like that, but I mean, especially with this new generation, I'm a part of it too, to where it's just a microwave generation. We want everything fast because, you know, we've already dealt with a lot of the topics. So if you're going to bring up certain passages, and that's probably why you think that everybody was just kind of like jumping back and forth yesterday, because if you use a passage, then they're going to say, okay, well, if you go back to this other passage that you're using to try to validate the one that you're using, well, then now you got to take into account that passage may not have meant what you thought that it meant, because you may be using a certain translation and that translation may have been off. So that's why it seems like that, you know, we'll get drugged down a rabbit hole. But I would just say, you know, if you do have a certain topic, then, you know, make sure that you just try to stay on that particular topic, and just know that, you know, it's no disrespect, but, you know, people they're gonna test you on it, they're gonna challenge you on it. Oh, go ahead.
Well, let me make clarity. We came on not for topics. It kind of got out of hand when Vereen put the link in. We came on to just explain our beliefs, what we stand for, and what we didn't agree with the camps. There was a separation.
Right.
So when that took place, he brought some people on, and that's when we started going to the different topics. But again, let me make this clear. And I'm going to say some things that's fleshly, but not intentional. I just want you guys to know my background. Okay. So, because I see people saying this is how you get on a block or whatever. I thank the Most High for who I am today, because the Majid and that my name was, and that I used to be traveling all over the United States, in New York, California, Florida, Texas, trafficking drugs and doing some of the wicked stuff to people.
You trying to say that you had to work?
I say that again.
You said that you had to work back in the day?
Well, I in my flesh, I come out of federal penitentiary. So in my flesh,
so you done been around, yeah.
To get an idea of what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And let me finish it, please, because I don't want people to think I'm glorifying it. It's embarrassing, really, to go to the penitentiary. I've been there 4 times.
Yeah.
So I tried to change my character to being disrespectful to people, women, men, kids, because I was an evil person before I got saved. You see, so I had to change my character, change. So our ministry presses to walk in love and try to walk like Christ said, with the greatest commandment of all is love. We don't, no matter what we disagree with somebody, we don't take shots and disrespect them. Just like when I was on last time, I sent Vereen a video that I made personally against y'all, and nothing I said was disrespectful back. I was trying to explain to y'all how I really believe in Christ and how I love the Lord. So for people to say this type of stuff as a Christian or Israelite or anybody that believes in Christ, it raises a red flag on me, on your heart, because the most important thing to me as a believer is your character and your heart, how you treat people, how you deal with people. The reason why I fear Christ like this now is because I did some things that I shouldn't even be home. You see, so my testimony is deep, and the brothers that y'all was talking to on the panel, both of them had 115 years. Christ let us out. I had 26. So don't tell me the name of Yahweh, commonly called Jesus Christ, you can't be a good, upright Christian. You can't be a good, upright Hebrew Israelite. You can't be a good, upright believer. So again, I didn't mean to get emotional, but I love the Lord.
Nah, bro, and I got a question too, because and I'm kind of concerned as well. Is there anything that, and I may have missed it, is there anything that anybody said, whether it's in the chat or the panel,
that didn't hurt me.
disrespectful?
Listen, my man.
No, I'm not saying that it hurt you, but
that didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt the brothers. Again, I told you there were women in the chat from our ministry. Once you come over to our platform and you meet the individuals in our platform, the elder women, the younger women, you're gonna see what I'm talking. Christ is in them. You're gonna see it. You ain't gonna, regardless of what y'all disagree about, you're going to see Christ. You're going to see the fruit in our ministry. So that's all I'm saying, bro. So they were the ones that were shocked, because you know why? They come out the church. My wife come out of Seventh-day Adventist. Their grandmothers and mothers are still in church. and all that, and they fellowship with them. We ain't got no problem going in the church and clapping and yelling Jesus and amen. We ain't got no problem with that. You know, so that's why they
I'm sorry.
shocked.
I'm sorry. They're shocked. Y'all is Black Fox. Is anybody in the comment section? Elder CJ, is anybody in the comment section? I've been saying that the comment section, we ill over here. The other guy said, well, the comment section respects we are ill over here. And I was like, no, he believers. And my people, the elder was like, believers in what? I said, you know, some people, they was locked up in the house with COVID. A lot of people just, you know, they get to talking crazy keyboard. Somebody else said, those cannot be Bible believers talking that reckless. Now, we've had honestly and other people that came in here that been in the word, that been walking and things along. They said it's easy to even get carried away if a minister is an elder, somebody sees a seasoned saint. It's easy to get carried away with the jokes. Y'all act like y'all can't even admit y'all a little loose over here. So many people wouldn't be scared to come over here, y'all. But
and I tell you,
I don't know what to say.
I tell you, Barine, we good, man. The men, we good. It's just the women, you know, women are sensitive, you know, and some of these women, you know, they trying to walk right, man. And when they see that stuff, that's why they don't listen to no camps. They ain't got nothing. They don't even want to talk to no camp people because they know Christ ain't in them. And I get the flack from a lot of camp dudes. I know a lot of camp dudes, man, personally. Barine, I told you my father come out of One West. I know some of the elders, but I will tell you this. Man, you know, you can't have Christ in you if you attacking people on all different angles. You just can't. You know what I mean? Of course.
I want Leo to come and speak on that. Is that biting and devouring each other? Is that apologetics? Is that just standing for the faith? What are your thoughts, Leo?
I would say it's just I wouldn't say completely apologetics. Like there's a piece of it within it in terms of just correcting doctrine. But then also when it comes to like reviewing the sources and things like that, that's kind of what my contention was like I think there's specific things that you guys have read and looked into that some people could say could be apologetic in nature, even how you're utilizing certain research and history to place a claim and then connect it to scripture. So example, when we talk about Israelites and who is the true Jew and things like that, there are certain sources that we have been made aware of that you have read that may say something different than first, at least how you may interpret it. And that's why when the mention of Hannah Adams came up, there was some pushback from me. And then also I've mentioned before, and you've talked about it before, you've read Alan Godsby's the Lost Tribes Myth review. So like pretty much looking into those sources specifically, there are some interesting mentions in those sources that to me challenge your overall position. So if you've read those sources, but only picking out what you may want to fit a narrative, if you look at the complete work, they may not fit the conclusion that you really have, that you're taking away from those sources. The example with the Hannah Adams one, that's kind of where the pushback for me was. I heard it mentioned, but then when we go to the source and see where you guys are using it for, you go later on in how they talk about the Jews of America, there's no connection there. They're actually saying that the Jews that you guys mentioned, the black Jews that from Portugal went to West Africa, actually in Hannah Adams, she said they went to Dutch nations in Holland and Amsterdam. There's no mention of West Africa. So how do we kind of talk to that when she talks about those Jews that migrated then over to the Americas?
Well, Spook, I mean, I get your point on that. That's something to me that it still wasn't on topic that you used. When you use the Gabi, if I'm not mistaken, my brother didn't quote Gabi anyway. So my point to that is either one of those sources were not what we were talking about. Well, the Hannah Adams was in particular the question Barine asked, right? So that's the only thing that was addressed. Far as the bloodline Israelites on the slave ships, he wasn't using that Hannah Adams or even Gabi to quote that. Now, you remember, I agree with Hebrew Israel. I done had the Yap game on my platform. They done looked at, I gotta do another DNA. Y'all heard it last night to get checked. But he did say after all that, he bears witness that he believes that it were bloodline Israelites on the ships. And he's not the only one to believe that. There's regular DNA. I don't know if you remember the DNA Igboos a long time ago. They did a Harvard University DNA, and they came back the Levites, and then the lady, which was a scientific expert in DNA, came back and retracted the whole DNA that she gave on these tribes in Africa. Why was that? Why would you say you made a major mistake like that? You know, but anyway, that's not even here, neither here or there. I don't want everybody to think that we whining like a little girl, because I don't want people to think that. What I'm trying to get you to understand as a whole is sometimes, and like the lady did post up there on the screen, everybody in there ain't Christian. Just because you say you Christian, don't mean you Christian. Just like you say you're an Israelite, don't mean you're an Israelite. Because I tell you this, Brother Spookism, if my DNA would have came back that I wasn't nowhere near Israelite, I still would be walking the same way I'm walking, because I'm trying to get in the kingdom. So my heart still would be the same way, regardless of these commandments, statutes, and laws. So people don't look at that. That's why it's a lot of these Israelites scared to take a DNA test, because you know they don't know what they're gonna do after that.
Come on.
You see, me, it ain't about me boasting I'm an Israelite. It ain't about that. It's about the walk. Yeah, I want to share the truth. I believe that is the truth. I want to try to stand on it and share with my brothers and sisters. But what if we are right? What if we are right? You know, yeah, everybody can say they debunked this, they debunked that, y'all wrong, that's it. But what if we are right? What if we are the bloodline of true Hebrew Israelites, majority of us in America? Then what? Then what? But and if we're not, then what? How do you act? How do you conduct yourself if you find out you're not? You know, so again, I enjoy coming on. I don't mind coming on again. I got, like I said, I got thick skin, and don't get the crying twisted, you know. But you know, I love Yahweh, man. I love God. I love the Most High, and I just know how our ministry is built. And you know, some of the sisters was offended. The men's fine. All of us come out of penitentiary, man. The men is fine. We got one hard head. He was trying to get on. We didn't even let him on because he's not ready yet, fully in his walk. So he would have came on there sounding like one of them camps if I'd have let him on the platform, because he was in his feelings. When we don't conduct ourselves like that, so I made sure that he didn't get on. You know, so that's the problem. Everybody ain't mature in their walk, whether what you believe or not. As if you're a Bible believer, everybody's got a different form of maturity. The reason why I'm in the way I'm in now, because I'm still repenting for the sins that I did and hoping that I'm forgiven. That's it, man. Because the stuff I did is unheard. I've been up there with Bareen. I could name, but if I told Bareen some of the people I know and some of the people that know me under that name, Bareen would be shocked. Because I've been all up in there in Rikers Island, all through them streets in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Boy George, Alpo. I've been around all them dudes, you know, and this scares me for what I done did in the past, that I'm asking for forgiveness and trying to be right with Christ. You guys want me coming on and expressing how we feel as a ministry and how we carry ourselves and how our ministry carries ourselves. We conduct ourselves different. We ain't gonna treat nobody disrespectful. We ain't having it. So with that being said, Marine, if nobody wants to take the topic, Spook, if you don't want to take the topic on the
no, I'll take the topic. Wait. So the Nazarite vow, Acts 21. That's what the topic is. You're gonna say the position is. So you just want to discuss how I believe it, or what are y'all? What is the discussion?
You said it wasn't complete, and remember my brother Yashia said it was complete.
He said number 6 because he's speaking about the days. We were talking about the days specifically, and he was saying, like because it wasn't the completion of the purification days. Right. Like I already know the position.
Well, I mean, you don't have to take the topic.
I'm saying like that's not. I don't think it's a contention for me. Like I said, you have your view on it. Like I said, I would rather talk about more like how you guys view the Nazarenes, view those specific groups, and how you look at Acts. I'd rather talk about that. Like so, you can talk about the Nazarite vow and your interpretation of it. I have no issue with that. But I'd rather talk about how y'all view Acts in terms of Jewish Christians, the Gentiles,
Oh,
speaking
okay.
to.
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about that because, like I said, I can show specifics on how the Jerusalem, like how do you guys review, like I said, understanding the Jerusalem church and how what the Jerusalem church
a
was
great
doing.
Topic. We'll take that. I want to inform you because I don't want if you come on our platform, I'm not going to be doing. We're not going to double team you. We can't. We don't do that. So all I'm going to do is share the screen and y'all do y'all thing. You know,
Right.
so I think it's fair that way because then I'll be biased, and I don't want to be biased because that's my brother, and also I agree with what we're teaching. So it'd be biased for me to be asking you questions and cross-examining you on this when it's just you and him. And I think it'd be a lot fair that way because he is the leader of our community and he's the teacher of our community. So
okay,
if you want to have that topic, we can arrange it for any Sunday, but Ring can come on and moderate it. Or we can come over there and y'all can do it.
So it's a debate. So it's a debate or a discussion.
Well, no, a dialogue, not a debate.
Dialogue. Okay, we don't need a moderator. We good. I keep it cordial. No issue there.
Not a debate.
Okay, we can talk. I'll let everybody speak 5-10 minutes, get your time, and that's good. I'm good with that.
Yeah, if you let you present how you feel, and then he present, and then y'all ask each other a few questions, and that's it.
I rock with that. I'm gonna reach out to Elder Joe too. I'll try to connect with Elder Joe and see if we can get something going.
I don't know what it is. He wants to talk to Kobe bad, so you got a lot of want to talk to Kobe about.
I can reach out to Elder Joe too. I know y'all say you want to talk to Elder Joe too, so I'll reach out to him.
Yeah. So definitely. Again, I thank y'all for letting me come on again. I didn't mean to get a little emotional, but when I think about Christ and I think about a lot of things I did, I'm trying to be saved. That's
Amen. Amen. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing. And matter of fact, I guess ain't nothing wrong with. So, if somebody asks you, though, what must I do to be saved? What would you tell them from what you learned up top?
Well, first of all, a lot of people gonna get upset probably again. I believe, and I heard y'all talk about it. Now, this is something that I believe. I can't say my brother Yashia definitely believes this. I believe if you're not dipped in water and you come out and a new clean man with a renewed mind and a renewed heart, you're not saved. That's first. That's what I believe.
How do you get saved? You got to go to water, H2O. Talk to me.
I believe you need to be dipped in water, be baptized in the name of Christ. In the name, I got baptized in the name of Yahweh Shee. I don't believe that you should get baptized in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The reason why is nowhere in the Bible, when they dipped somebody in water, they said baptize in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. They never said the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And Matthew does say that. Now, there's arguments on manuscripts that was added to the text and show
Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Yeah, they say there's arguments on that, and the one that I bear that the Father and the Son is one. Did I say that right? They say that was added to the text. They said that was added to the text too. But I'm not here to argue whether it was or wasn't. What I do know, when you look at the baptisms in the Bible, and if I'm wrong, please bring up a scripture to show me where somebody during the actual baptism got baptized in those three names. I don't see it.
Yes, with the three talents. Bruce said that. Bruce just walked in. But listen, so they ask you, what must I do? How to get saved? How can I make heaven my home? How can I get right with God? What would you say? Tell me the words that you would tell them. You must be baptized in the name. Tell me the words you would say.
I would definitely say you definitely first and foremost, you have to get baptized to come out a new person, with a renewed mind and a clean heart. And whatever the things that you used to do, you need to put off those old things. Like me, I sold drugs. I shot guns. I've done a lot of fights and a lot of harm to people, and a lot of disrespected women. All those things were the old me under the old name. I changed my name. My name is legally Barak, means blessed. And I had to put off all that. And if you don't put off the old things and you're still the same person coming out of water, you're not being saved. You're not getting saved. So I believe the first key thing is to get dipped in water. I would tell somebody get baptized, put off the old you,
Okay.
and have a clean heart and create a clean heart. Walk in love. Out of all the commandments there are, the greatest commandment we all got to agree is what Jesus said. To love thy neighbor and love him. Those are the two greatest commandments of them all. That's why we push what we push in our ministry of being disrespectful. I don't go to work and get upset like I do with the Caucasians and want to call them Gentiles, and then because they afflicted me for certain stuff because I've been in the penitentiary and I'm in management, and they want to look down on me because I've been in the penitentiary. So I shine my light on my character, the way I walk, the way I treat people, the way I respect people. I had to take the profanity out of my language. I had a filthy mouth. So these are the things that I needed to work on to examine myself to be a true believer. So that's what I would tell him, Marine. I don't know any other better way. My brother might have a different angle.
Got you. All right. Leo.
Yeah, I got a quick question. For him. So
yeah.
What about the evidence of the tongues?
Yeah, tongues. Yeah,
if Alton don't shut his mouth, they don't even believe. Do y'all believe in speaking in tongues?
Say that again.
Do you believe in speaking in tongues?
Yes, I do. My brother and the two other people, only people I heard in our ministry speak in tongues. I never spoke in tongues, but yes, I believe that.
Oh, well, oh man, this is
yes.
It's different.
Go ahead, Alton. I'll be right back. I got to step away. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I believe in tongues. Absolutely.
Do you believe baptism is required for salvation?
Yeah, I don't believe. I told you that. See, now this is the topic that I told you, my brother might not even agree with. I believe you have to be baptized to be saved. Yes, that's salvation. Okay. I believe that. I believe you can't just run around the way you are and just say you saved without being dipped in water and saved. Because Christ said that verse. Somebody quote the verse where Christ said, "Except you be baptized in water, you cannot make it in the kingdom." What was he saying?
Water and spirit, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said. So
now, what about a sprinkling? Can you sprinkle? Sprinkle that forehead?
No, I don't agree with sprinkling.
Okay.
No, I don't believe you being baptized being sprinkled. I believe you got to be dipped in water. When you look up the words, it says, dip to be immersed. It says immersed. It doesn't say sprinkle. Absolutely. Anything else? Anybody? Definitely got a great I want to say this. I got a great deal of respect for you, brother Spookism. I've been watching Marine for years, since I've been home. Colby, Elder Joe, I got respect for them, brother. I haven't seen brother Alton or the other brother that much. Even brother Bruce, some things we agree with, some things we don't. One thing we have to understand as believers, regardless of what, we can't hate people or dislike them or disrespect them just because we disagree. And that's some of the things I had to learn in my maturity in my walk. I can't be the one. Now, may I get sarcastic sometimes? Yeah, but I'm not gonna put nobody in hell for only one thing, and I stand on that. And that's, like I mentioned, 1 Corinthians. So anything else, I can't tell anybody. The only reason why I choose to keep the law is to keep me the way I am and my character and my heart right with how I deal with people in the world. That's the only reason why, the main reason why I try to keep the commandments, statutes, and law. It makes me a better person. And it gives me discipline. That's how I see things.
I got one more question for you.
Yes.
Is there anything that we could be praying about for you?
Oh wow. Now I see your heart. Yeah, definitely. You definitely can pray about me. I'm getting afflicted at work. I usually don't talk to strangers like that, but because I don't really know y'all. But I'm in management at a warehouse, and I'm being underpaid because of my record. But I'm doing work as a top management leader. And I'm trying to leave out of there, but I'm being patient and praying trying to find the right place. But you know, number one, there, you know, being in management, no matter where you are, they always look down on you because you are black, first of all, and then second, if you've been incarcerated, and they try to figure out, you know, how you get a position like this with the amount of times you've been in prison. But I educated myself in prison too. You know, I got a degree in what I do today in prison, and also I went to theology school. We went to theology school in prison. Also, you know, in prison that we was part of a educational book club where we vetted and read thousands of books in the years that we were locked up. So I educated myself by reading more, by taking reading and comprehension classes. So, you know, yeah, I definitely had to, you know, renew my whole life to how I used to be. So I'm asking for prayer for me to be the door to open for me to move to a better position and a better job.
Amen, amen. I'll put you on my prayer list.
We'll pray for anybody else too that needs be too, you know, over in our ministry. You know, I really appreciate that. You know, and again, I got a great deal of respect for the panel. You know, and don't think that you know, we feel some type of way. It's not that. You know, they just was a little shocked, but the sister made a comment, and I try to tell my ministry, you know, everybody's on a different level when they walk. So you're going to get this on social media. They're not used to seeing how things operate on social media. We debated in prison. You know, we witnessed 110 something like that Christians convert to Islam, man. And that I mean, that right there was heartbroken to us. You know, because regardless of how we view the scriptures or whatever, I believe leaving and going to Islam, and I'm not trying to knock people's beliefs, but you know, because I got family members that's Muslim as well on my father's side, and but you know, I feel like again, you go to Islam like that, you're automatically forfeiting your salvation. So, you know, yeah, we've been in these debates with Kemet dudes in federal prison. It's a little different from state prisons, and we've been in debates with Kemet and Islam and Christians and others. But yeah, again, Brother Alton and the rest of the panel, I don't know the other brother's name. I heard him speaking. I don't know if he's an Israelite or a Christian. It doesn't really matter, but you know, I say shalom or peace to the panel, and thank y'all for letting me come on. And Alton, you're welcome over too on some topics you want to talk about. No problem.
All right, bro. Thank you, man.
that.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, let me know, Marine, if anybody.
All right, yeah, I'll hit you up. Okay.
All right,
appreciate it. All right, after you want to say something before I go back to the
No, go ahead. I'm about to jump off.
Okay, I appreciate y'all.
All right, no problem. Take care.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard a lot. Let me. Matter of fact, let's change it up a little bit. Let's change it up. Let me just keep going right here.
Those the boot kissing and all of that, it's not what we about. We don't agree with that at all. We don't agree with you cannot be saved unless you're an Hebrew Israelite. That's not accurate. That's not true. And I or nor anybody else in the community that I'm a part of believes like that, or do they move like that. That if you believe 1 Corinthians 15, 1-4, you are saved. Period. And you can be a Martian. Okay. Our issue is with Christmas. Our issue is with Easter. Our Easter is with Sundays, the Sabbath, and things that we cannot locate in scripture that came after the book of Revelations. And that's not just condemning certain aspects of Sunday worship. That's condemning any way that is being promoted as a truth that is not coming forth with the Messiah as the lead character. Okay, and any observations or anything coming after the book of Revelations that we can't find in our scriptures. So we try to abide by the word. We're going to abide by the word and the word itself, and that's where we stand. I've told Bear Walk, I've taught them and I've shown them.
So Christmas ain't right and exact. Going to church on Sunday ain't right and exact. Y'all can't find that in the Bible.
That the worship for New Testament, when it's and the New Testament in general, when read properly, you won't find any contradictions in the scripture from Genesis through Revelations. When you go back and you utilize your study materials, your concordances, and your this or that, and you view the scriptures through the lens of the people that wrote the scriptures, I think that's key. I've heard the argument that the New Testament was written in Greek, but I don't think anybody really believes that. There's studies, it's a big study of manuscripts and things, especially when you read Acts. But that even that being said, even if it was, I think that when you read the scriptures, the Bible shouldn't be broken down into two testaments in terms of your worship. We know that it's two testaments because after the Messiah, we know that we didn't need a priest anymore to go to the Father. We go through him to get to the Father. We understand that. But we're saying what happened to the worship, that the churches are now permeating things that we can't find in scripture. So that's what our issue is. And we've summed that portion of this up. Now I want to speak on the other portion that I didn't, because I viewed one of the videos, and the gentleman that was on the video with you, it's seeming like, I don't recall his name, but he was mocking Hebrew Israelites. The fact that to the claim that they're actually the children of Israel. And I asked, I gave a teaching on it called Beyond the Rivers of Ethiopia. And I had one question that I don't think nobody's ever been able to answer, is when in any historical documents, any oral history, any archaeological findings, anything, can we find the people that are over in our homeland right now that are in power, where it is recorded that they were beyond the rivers of Ethiopia? And we cannot unless it's been some new findings.
What? How many Acts manuscripts are there out there? Because they seem to be relying heavily on manuscripts. How many Acts manuscripts are there out there?
Information come out. Now, on the contrasting side of that, the entire history of the civilized world has gave a record, both written and oral and archaeological findings, that a certain ethnic group out of the people that are melanin positive, that they are in fact the people of the book. We've got a lot of DNA findings, books, and things that we've read. We've got migration patterns, migrations. We got a plethora of things. We got the slave manifest, the cargo manifest, what the captains of the ship said,
I think it means a plethora. There's a plethora of evidence showing the manuscripts. I don't know, but saying the New Testament was written in Hebrew, that's the problem when you go get an education from the Greeks. They lied to you. Jesus spoke Hebrew, so it had to be Hebrew. Or like Bart Ehrman, it's already one language moved away from the original language. There are Hebrew New Testaments, but they come from or paraphrase of the New Testament. They come from the 4th century. But they tell you they're downstairs in the Vatican, unless they know about some more. The brother was saying that in Israel, they got some more New Testaments. I think we're going to see more and more of this as people attempt to take it back to the Aramaic from the Greek and say this is original. This is how the Lord's Prayer was. And I think we're seeing early evidence of that. But it comes with knocking core doctrines of the Christian faith. Jesus was a Christ and bringing us to Christ consciousness. There's no virgin birth. That's kind of like Gnosticism.
Hey, Berean,
And there's a messianic form of that. Good, you want to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to address something, especially with the manuscripts as far as the New Testament. Most scholars agree that it was a consolidation, like a consensus, and it wasn't like when they established the canon with the ecumenical councils later on. What were the overwhelming communities had a specific text, if that makes sense. So yeah, different communities would have had, we say it would have been the same writing of Acts, but it would have just been written at a different time, I guess, if that makes sense, or translated at a different time, and it would have just been passed on like that. But the thing he said about the Sabbath, and that's when I argue with BHIs on the street corner. I'm from LA, so when I argue with them on the street corner, and they hit me with the Sabbath argument, it's like we honestly don't know when the Sabbath is, because the calendar.
Oh, you believe that too? Where Bruce at? Type of one, Bruce in here. Go ahead.
we honestly have no idea when the Sabbath is, because the calendar has been changed so many times. If we're going in, they base their Sabbath based off of the order in which the days are named, not in if they're saying you got to deal with the context. If we deal with the context, ancient Hebrews didn't name their days. Why? Because the Sabbath didn't fall on the same day every week. They just numbered them. So so if we were going by that standard, if we're just taking this month, for example, right? The first day of this month fell on a Monday. So the Sabbath the seventh day would be on a Sunday. This month.
So you don't keep the Sabbath then?
No, I do. I keep the pattern. Work 6, rest 7. Work 6.
So you just pick your own day?
Yeah, you work 6 and rest 1, because we don't know when the Sabbath is.
So as long as you rest one day of the week, you good.
Yeah, keep the pattern. If you don't know the specificity of it, keep the pattern.
Now where you get that from in the book?
I'm not saying it's in the book. I'm just saying that's the rule that I live by, because I consider myself to be someone who's Torah observant, or I'm striving to be as much as I can be. Right? I'm not saying that's a specific commandment in the Bible. I'm just saying that if you don't know specifically, keep the pattern as much as possible. And if we're going based off of scripture, if we go to Numbers 10, the beginning of the month fell on a new moon, and a new moon is a feast. I mean, it is an ordinance. You blew trumpets on the new moon. That sparks the first day, and then you count 7 from there, and it goes to 29. And then you start a new month.
So you think somebody on the planet is looking to the moon and not looking to no other calendar?
Some people do. Some people do. Some camps I know, they look at the moon and they say new moon. Okay, this is day 1, and then they count 7 from there, and then they go from there. So the Sabbath changes every. I'm not making up my own rules. It's actually in Numbers 10:10. The festival of the new moon, which is when the month actually starts. You can read it for yourself, Terrence Jones.
So you don't. So what? But you said you don't do that, right?
I don't.
If numbers say to look at the moon, why don't you go with the moon? It depends on your pattern at work.
No, pretty much, because I don't live in a judicial system that is Torah affirming, if that makes sense. I don't live in the land. If I lived in the land, most definitely I would, right? But I don't live in a perfect paradise to where the laws of God are enforced and established to where it's in my benefit. So because I can't, I'm going to keep the pattern.
Okay, all right, fair use. All right, y'all heard that.
The historians, both ancient and during the Middle Ages, to cement the truth that we are in fact the people of the book. And all I say is that our people that are practicing the various religions, that they should become aware of that fact, and they should embrace it. And it's not a threat to them practicing Christianity or them practicing any other way that they want to practice, because Hebrew Israelite simply denotes a person's ethnicity, his I don't want to say race because it's one race, but his group, his physical family genetically. That's all that says. That's not in any shape, form, or fashion of religion, because the majority of the Sunday church over here in America that's practicing Christianity, they're Hebrew Israelites. The majority of Islam over here in the United States of America, those are Hebrew Israelites that are practicing Islam. We've got some that are practicing Catholicism.
No, that's a problem. That sounds like most of the descendants of the slaves that came over here were bloodline or convert Israelites, and they were all keeping feasts that came over here. That's a little problem right there. It's a little incy-bincy problem. And because some people like myself and others don't want to accept that without any proof, red letter, I don't think I've seen enough proof to make the majority of black folk over here Israel. I can't say that. Now, Apostle Jack, what would you say to that? You've been around for, what do you say to that? They're saying that black folk are bloodline. Go ahead. Well, he muted.
No, I have my mic off. No, not all black folk are bloodline. I do not believe that at all. That doesn't make any sense. Because if you go and buy second Ezra's, which most camps do to determine where your father is, most black people that are third, or that descends from a slave. I don't like using that term, but descends from a slave, have a patriarch or an ancestor that was a white slave master, and since that happened, that cuts you off completely. According to Second Ezra's, I think it's 259, something like that, where it says their father's house was not found in them. But
you think prior to that most of the people that came that were slaves, that they might have, but the bloodline got messed up because of rape?
Some, not most, some. Not most, not at all.
Come on, more.
And if we're talking about just because I say Jew, right, and that just means Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, talking about after the separation, Southern Kingdom, right? That's what they use that based on. Like, that makes even less sense, because then you have the 9 other tribes from the Northern Kingdom, and that could be anywhere. So like, there's no way. And for me, the argument of bloodline doesn't really matter to me. If you believe in Jesus,
why not? Why don't it?
If you believe in Jesus, your bloodline.
Okay.
Come
on, more.
Yeah, I just caught up on Avery's piece yesterday, where he was talking to the people on the screen and whatnot. And shout out to Avery for coming through and clearing up a lot of stuff. I just heard something about like basically, I heard an argument for before I jumped on, I was hearing somebody make an argument for basically the majority of people coming off the slave ship, because I was trying to find a number, like where they get a number at, because with Avery they were saying some, and then I just heard something that sounded like the majority of like the people practicing Islam, Catholicism, Christian, etc., like they're quote unquote Hebrew Israelites and whatnot, right? And on the bloodline level and whatnot. And so I'm currently working on a model right now to solidify this and hopefully give it to the Christian apologists, so they and help them with this particular concept, because this needs to get understood on both sides, right? Like, so like Ibri was talking about, he can't say that none came off the slave ship, but he can't say that everybody, right? And in the Yap gang, we don't even say the majority. We say it would be a minority, no matter how you slice it and whatnot, right? Well, what people get lost on is this concept of bloodline, quote unquote bloodline. That's almost going to be impossible to trace, like it is for any other group, because we don't have any of the actual patriarchal DNA to specify, okay, it's either this haplogroup or that haplogroup, right? All you have right now is an educated speculation, right, at best, right? And so what Ivry was trying to say is something the Yak gang tries to say all the time, is the best you can do with genetics is link yourself back to people in West Africa who claim to have a tradition of practicing Judaism, et cetera, right? And so when you do that, you can actually wrap your hands around an actual sizable culture, whatnot, a group of people or whatnot. And at max, so it's not a small number, and it's not everybody, right? So even on the small side, it needs to be understood because the group of people. So first and foremost, the populations that would produce people of converts, bloodline, whatever, like Jewish descent or whatnot, right? The National Jewish Council, right? They're going to be similar populations that also produce in-house Christian groups and whatnot that we're finding in West Africa. I was just watching a presentation on BK Apologetics, the channel from yesterday. It was fantastic. It was by Christianity in West Africa, where they're talking about Christians in Hausaland in northern Nigeria and whatnot, before coming on the slave ships and whatnot, right? Connected to Sudanese Christianity and whatnot. Beautiful presentation and whatnot, right? These areas are the same areas that are producing Jews that are being taken, called like the Ganawa and Janawa, being taken into the slave trade from, again, northern Nigeria through the Maghreb in Morocco, that still persist there to this day. We come from the same population of people and whatnot. We come from the same slave trade and whatnot, right? So
how much? I'm sorry. How much of the video did you see?
The whole
How
thing?
much of the video did you see with somebody give me a timestamp when Avery jumped on, because they asked for him.
Yeah. And so
you saw that part right there, more?
Yeah, the whole thing, that whole part there, because Avery had jumped on their channel before. And I'm not going to say the guys.
I'm talking about last night.
Yeah. I know. I just went back and watched that before I jumped on now.
Okay.
Because somebody, I was talking to somebody in Yap about it in the chat when they let me know Avery talked. I was like, let me go see that real quick. And yeah, Avery had actually gone on their channel before and talked to that guy about his DNA and whatnot. And I'm glad that Avery cleared up what the guy was saying, because again, like Avery made the argument that he can't say everybody coming off the slave ship, but he can't say none. It's going to be a minority.
So why would
talking about bloodline? It's a drop in the bucket.
Did come up? Why would Avery? Did he go on? Is he like a professor to the parfait? Avery's not a mean guy. Maybe he don't want to hurt people's feelings, or he'll come on this channel and say one thing and go on another channel and say something else, giving people hope, a little bit of hope.
No, not even like so.
He don't keep the buck.
So Avery said the same thing here that he said on that guy's channel. He said, "Go get your DNA." He said, "I'm not gonna, again, in confidence, I'm not going to give up the guy's Apple group or whatnot, right? Because he didn't want it out like that or whatever." But like but Avery said, "Go get it double tested because it's a very unique one." And again, like the Avery's argument here that he made here, this is what I heard him say before I jumped on, right? He's like, so even if you want to make one of the minority haplogroups like the haplogroup, let's say we had Abraham's DNA, like we found his actual graves, whatever, we have the DNA, we have the haplogroup, whatnot, right? And we're going downstream from there, whatnot. Avery made the beautiful argument we try to make all the time, which is you don't know if you descend from an Israelite, an Ammonite, a Moabite, Ishmaelite, etc., an Edomite. You don't know.
Even if you descend from Abraham, it may be from one of the other kids.
Yes, sir.
What do you you've been doing this for 2, 3, 4. You've been reading for a few summers now. What do you personally feel about coming over here on the slave trade, and who could be Israel? Do you believe DNA can help? That's impossible migration patterns or anything. You personally, Orthodox more. What do you feel?
So
can you think of a percentage in your mind, 10, 12, 15, 85%, based on what you've been hearing these people saying?
Yeah, so based upon what I've been reading and putting together, etc. Like, so again, I'm not. So what Avery said is like it's best not to try to go to bloodline, because you're not going to be able to parse that one out. What's best to do is to try to, if you're going to look for a population of people, look for like a national population, a group population that's diverse, etc. Right? Just like you see in every Jewish population, we see a base set of genomes that go along with most of the Jewish populations, like E, J, R1b, T, etc., whatnot. And we do see those same haplogroups in certain parts of West Africa. We see it in the Western Sahel.
More. Garfield don't want to hear none of that. He don't believe. Do you feel comfortable, Orthodox more, when people say I am a bloodline descendant?
No.
You do not feel comfortable when you hear them jump on a platform and say, I'm a bloodline descendant, Covey converted from me. That doesn't make you feel comfortable.
Well, I got a problem with that, right? And that's the whole reason why I'm about to say my next part. That's the whole reason why I'm about to say my next. I got a big problem with it, right?
I must make this thing over here.
The reason why I'm trying to put together this model for apologists to look at it, whatnot, is because if there's a video that we recently did on the App Game channel and on Genesis 49, where we were covering a paper that talked about Western Asian genetic migration into West Africa. So we're able to document that Western Asian.
More 1 second before you go any further. Are you chipping? Is he chipping out, or is it my computer? Because you chipping out.
No. Type more sound. Y'all can hear more good, right?
Y'all sound just fine to me.
Yeah,
Well, God might have to go out and come back in.
He sound good to me.
How do I sound? Do I sound good?
You sound good to us?
You sound fine to me.
Well, I don't know. Talk to them to me.
You sound good. You sound good over here too.
All right, cool. All right, I'm mute up.
Go ahead, Mo. Let me hear this because I want plain. There's stuff y'all be talking. I want plain talk.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you numbers right quick in groups and whatnot, right? So and this is why I think it's important, because it kills all the extreme arguments once you get your hands around a firm number. What's the smallest it could be? What's the largest it could be, right? So we know for a fact that, like, and if you go review the debate me and Garfield and discussion me and Garfield had on this channel, where we're discussing groups from West Africa that have connections to Jews and whatnot, right? We can clearly see that there's groups like the Wolof, the Mandinka, the Fulani, etc., that come, like the Bambara, etc., that come from areas like the Western Sahel that do have connections to this population and whatnot, right? Does any group ever, like, does any source ever say it's the entirety of the population? No, they say that there are groups amongst these people, right? And so with that, what these sources, these same Islamic sources that confirm Christianity in West Africa, like I was talking about with BK Apologist channel, they also confirm that there's a Jewish population in West Africa, and particularly a slave Jewish population that's a regular slave population in the Maghreb and whatnot, right?
What they look like?
They look just like me, right? You can see them right now in Morocco. You can see them in Mauritania. You can see them
well, people like you ain't come over here on the transatlantic slave trade. They look like me, right?
Some of them look like you.
Some of them look like you too.
Yeah, like they look like a broad swath and whatnot, right? And so again, their population, the Haratin and the Ganawa, you can see them right now and whatnot, right? Like, so they number in like 2 million and whatnot in these areas I'm talking about, Morocco, Mauritania, etc., right? There's people that go to their festivals every year for their music and whatnot. Like, and there's people who do connections
More,
about
they
their
don't want to
music.
hear that. They don't want to hear that. They don't more. They was not mixed. Stop it.
Well, we come from the same slave population that they come from, right? This is documented. We can go over the genetics and whatnot, right? But with that genetics, there's an influx of people that come in from Western Asia and have been doing so for the last 8,000-9,000 years, right?
He's saying blood was joke. Oh, yo, I can't talk no more. More, you mixing, you don't even. Hold on a minute more. Hold on a minute more, because they finna get, yeah, everybody in here.
You want me to give a number before I stop?
This comment section finna get ignorant. I want Garfield to hear 2 minutes of this, and somebody cue me up with Ibri. I want Garfield to hear it, and Garfield tell me what he think. Listen to this.
The majority of the Sunday church over
you
in
know what's
America
wrong.
Hold on.
Is practicing Christianity. They're Hebrew Israelites. The majority of Islam over here in the United States of America, those are Hebrew Israelites that are practicing Islam. We've got some that are practicing Catholicism. To that we say each his own, but I think that when you study your ancient worship and things like that, and you take back your identity, your history, your language, and your culture, I think that you would gravitate to the teaching that is being put out by the Nazarene Hebrew Temple and Institute of Technology, because at its base, it is nothing but had Christians practiced when Christianity was implemented. Now, the changes came later to Christianity from everything that we researched and read. And believe me, we do so with a fair hand and an open mind. So that's what you got.
He think the majority of people that came over here, we could say, if I'm reading them correctly, that we can say that they were Israelites. Garfield. Ivry came on here. Go ahead, Garfield. Once I'm pulling the Ivry up.
I hope Ivry ain't lost his mind.
Somebody give me a timestamp on Ivry with this video.
4 hours and 14 minutes. 4 hours
I hope
and 14 minutes.
Ivry has not lost his mind.
No. Hear him out, because they brought him on. He was on the other channel. We don't know if he done going crazy. Somebody hit him on the jack. On what you said more, what time, where am I going more?
4 hours and 14 minutes, I believe.
4 hours. And that's when he first jumped on. Oh,
You want to play that first and then I respond after?
Yes, Garfield. Yes, I want you to hear it.
haplogroup. So if anybody has the oldest so far recorded and excavated DNA of any type of Jew, it would be those who you are trying to say are not the true Jews and the ones that are there in the land now. Again, I'm not the authority on DNA. I just know we've had a whole bunch of conversations on this, and those in the Yap Gang have also confirmed all of this.
Well, hold on. So
let me stop this for a second. See that? This is interference right here. This is interference. The brother came on, the brother saying, Berean, isn't Garfield an atheist? Somebody get their head popped off on the corner. What difference does it make if it was a drunk, if it was a wino? What difference does it make if it was the preacher of his grandma in the window that saw it? And they camera recorded. What difference does it make what they were? This is the interference. What Garfield believe? Garfield could be a Hindu speaking truth when it deals with this. He could be an atheist. He could be a Muslim. He could be Spanish. He could be Dominican. Dominican. Truth is truth. This is baby interference. We so far and high beyond that. Y'all trying to get people caught up into the emotions. Oh, Garfield don't go to Bible. You don't go to church every Sunday. You don't wear fringes so he can't speak the truth. Man, you go to the doctor. Some jump off and you go to the doctor. You don't care if that doctor atheist when you get hit up. You want that bullet up out of you. You want your mama to have that heart surgery. You don't care if it's a Jew. You don't care if it's a woman doctor. We're dealing with truth right now. Fair use.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm NHIT is not.
Yeah, you weren't saying anything. I was talking to the lady. You weren't actually saying anything.
But what's killing me though is because it seems to me that y'all saying also that there wasn't no bloodline African American, but now called African American slaves that came over that was Hebrew Israelites. And I'm saying
if they are saying that, you prove to us that that's what some people are saying. I got to keep it a buck. Where did you get that from? Walk us through where you got that from. That people came over here was bloodline Israelites.
He mentioned Hebrew Israel, right? I don't know him well, but he's been on my platform. I've shared my DNA with him before, right? And I need to take another one because I have a unique, different type of haplotype or whatever. I don't know the case that well, but I'm sure that I've heard Hebrew Israel say that he would agree that it was different type of Jews, but it was also bloodline African, so-called African Americans.
Okay, Hebrew, that's you. You right in. He's in here. Ain't he somewhere?
So Hebrew, you want to come to the stage and with the DNA that you seen of mine, would you agree that it's
to come to the stage? And he said he believed he said some of them, but he's talking about his specific.
Possible if it's accurate that it could be a Hebrew Israelite. Can you step to the mic and answer that for us? Because I agree it might have been different type of Jews on them ships, but I'm just talking about our people was on there and there were bloodline African Americans, so-called African Americans on those ships.
Come on, Ibri, get your mind right.
All right, so first I want to comment on a few things that was said earlier dealing with DNA. I am going to answer your question, but I want to just quickly cover a few things. When it comes to the Jewish population, just like what Kobe said, there are multiple Jewish populations: Mizrahi, Sephardi, Ashkenazi, Ethiopian, etc.
Can we stop? Let me stop right here. Can we agree? Red letter, Timothy Isaac. I ask you in Jesus' name. I said Jesus with a J. My block finger heavy right now. Are there multiple Jewish populations? Haywood, Kirkland Haywood, I'm asking you right now. Are there multiple Jewish populations on the planet? That's what I'm asking you right now. Are there multiple Jewish populations on the planet? Hold on a minute, Garfield, before I play the rest. Come on, bro. Is that you? Is that you? Is this the Moray from yesterday from NHIT?
No. No. This is a total new person. I'm gonna listen and give my opinion on some things.
All right. What new doctrine? Ibri, don't say nothing, but you can hear it. I want to play some more. I hope you ain't hopscotching, saying one thing over here to make some folk feel good, then mess around over there with NHIT. All right, fair use. 3 minutes of this. I'm gonna give it to Garfield and Ibri.
And they all carry various different Y chromosomes, such as the Ethiopian Jews, Beta Israel. Most of them carry haplogroup A and haplogroup E. Haplogroup A is pretty indigenous to Africa. Haplogroup E You know, it has a history of migrating back and forth from Africa into the Middle East. And when it comes to Ashkenazi Jews, a lot of them actually carry haplogroup E as well. And they also carry haplogroup J, specifically they carry E1B1B when it comes to Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews. And then, of course, you have indigenous Jews in the Middle East, like the Samaritans, who carry haplogroup J and haplogroup E. It would be my argument that the Samaritan Jews who never left the land are genetically closest to the ancient Israelites. You can look at G25 charts online that kind
of Charlie, where you at?
Kind of show you that they line up pretty much closely with ancient Levantine populations. Now, as for the statement earlier dealing with the Canaanites, it is true that Jews and Arabs are genetically very close to Canaanites, but again, scientists are using this in the sense of being ancient Levantines and part of that ancient land of Canaan. That doesn't mean that they were like the Canaanites that the Israelites fought against. Some of them could be, but some of them could also just as well
I just
be
want to make
Israelites,
sure. I
because
don't want to
Israelites
piss you off. I just want to make sure.
Well, her misinterference right now.
I want to
Israelites-
respond for you. That's all. I just want to make sure.
Let me stop right now. I'll let her go. Garfield, what do you believe Avery is saying? And if you have any problems, say it right now, then I'll give it to him.
My whole thing is with this conversation is we got to be very careful. And I think Moore and Avery, and I'm going to ask them moving forward, if we're going to apply genetics and practice some methodology, we got to go where the evidence leads instead of making
Don't take us back 300,000 years, because some people don't believe that. Garfield, I'm watching you. Don't muddy the waters. I'm watching you.
No, I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is that we're presupposing that it's possible, or these people are Israelites in the conversations. So when Avery or even more enters a conversation, it's like they are continuing bad methodology as it's being spoken of. So if someone says, I am the Israelites and we are, how did they come to that conclusion without any evidence? Why would you draw this conclusion? The first reason is it has to do with their faith. So there's no argument. If you have a faith belief that you're an Israelite, I have no contention with you on that faith.
Elder Green said that from the gate 3 years ago, 2 years ago. All of it is by faith.
So let me say this though.
But they don't want that. Go ahead.
With the genetics, it's very important that we find out something that's going on right now. 70%, I'm gonna use African Americans for an example, right? 70% of African Americans on average.
Garfield, let's use your people for an example. Let's use
Wait a
Jamaicans
minute,
for an
who's this
example.
ass?
No, it's not ass. Let's use Jamaicans for an example, Garfield.
Hold on.
Respectfully.
Say that again, my brother.
I said you're Jamaican, correct? So why don't we use your people for an example instead of using
all right. Listen,
Black American?
Let me finish talking. All right. We're actually in America, and I'm going to use an example that makes a lot of sense for here. All right. African Americans on an average carry 70% of genetic markers E1B1A, right? Or around that area. 30% carry the R marker on an average, right? Some people carry some, so there's plus minuses as far as other DNA markers and so forth. But primarily, African Americans have E1B1A. In today's world, the majority of the people in West and Central Africa carry that DNA, except for like the northern part of Cameroon that carries the R, a specific R marker. So we have in Africa, you have A, you have B, you have E1B1A, which was mutated over 40,000 years ago. I'm not going to go into the time thing because of what Doreen just said. What I'm trying to say is when we use genetics, we can't use it and try to fit a biblical paradigm into it because it doesn't match, it doesn't fit, it doesn't matter at all. We don't even know if Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob are real people. So that don't even make any sense. What I am saying is, as far as we using it with African Americans or even Afro-Jamaicans or Afro-Brazilians, it makes no sense we try to align those people with people who are genetically not connected with the ancient Near East as far as back then or even now, because today I have E1B1A and I'm connected to people who are in West and Central Africa today who are E1B1A, the majority of that region. That's my argument with DNA. My second argument is if you feel that you are an Israelite by bloodline based off your faith, or I'm sorry, if you believe you're an Israelite by faith, I have no contention with you. Garfield loves you, no problem. If you are now drawing a conclusion, say that the people are possibly, why are you drawing this conclusion? The only reason why Moore, Avery, or anybody that comes on Berean's channel would want to attach themselves to this is because of the Bible. There's no other reason. So what they will do is they will overlook information that contradicts. Not saying that they purposely do it, but most people who believe this is not going to really look at the information. When we look at the people in Mali and so forth and see what happened to them, I don't see them based on what the Jews, if you look at the records of Peter Mark's book of the Jews in West Africa, we know people were given passes for being Jews. They were given passes, and even the converts were given passes. And they were given passes. They had synagogues in homes in Senegambia and those areas. So we know that Jews were functioning in, and by the way, too, there wasn't a lot of Jews that lived in West Africa. If you could find more than 5,000, bring the information. So I'm telling you, look at the over 12 million people that were shipped, and you're looking at the people that came from the exile that came from Portugal or Spain. There's not much Jews that was in West Africa in the first place. So if you want to say those people are attached to the Jews or whatever, then the numbers don't make any sense. All I'm asking for 10 years, hold on, is that people would show a Jew who is practicing Judaism, get on a boat and do all that stuff. What I'm going to say is this. No one is drawing a conclusion that there were no Jews in West Africa. The issue is all these sources show this, but these are some of the people that became the middlemen to transport you over, your ancestors over here. So it makes absolutely no sense. As far as genetically, if you look at the markers that we have today, and he just talked about the Canaanites and all that stuff. In academia, they call the Canaanites are where the Israelites originate from. They discount the Exodus tradition in academia. This is where the consensus of scholarship is. They say the Exodus didn't happen. They're saying the conquest of Canaan didn't happen, and that they grew out of the Canaanite population and said separated themselves and developed into Israelites. That's what the academia, that's what the scholarship says. So now when folks say that the Canaanites aren't Israelites from back then, they are the Israelites from back then. And the Arabs and them mix is because guess what? Tiglath-Pileser, who shipped the Israelites to Assyria, he also shipped Arabs from Arabia and brought them to Israel to live in Israel. So of course, Arab and Israel DNA has been there for 2,800 years. They've been mixing. So when you do Canaanite DNA and it's mixed with the people 50% today, it makes absolutely sense because technically there was no lost tribes because 90% of the people stayed back in Israel and those people continued to live there. And that's why you have that population. But because we want to be the Israelites, we don't look at the information. There's no such thing as a lost tribe. That is made up later on, but through British Israelism and the Christian identity and all that stuff. And that's what people are following.
Most tribes ain't bad. That's some other stuff.
I'm going to say this. Hold on. I'm going to put this challenge out there to the NHIT because what they do is, and Avery and more, I kind of keep them on the outside because they don't believe and follow what these crazy guys. Most of the crazy
they're not fundamental.
I love them, but I just disagree with them on certain issues. I love both.
All right now. I want the Hebrew Israel. You spoke. They requested for you to come on. Many of us felt you came on like, oh man, he done get caught in ambulance. He cut they asked for him and he cut them. What were you saying based on the video we played last night? You got a little more time to explain to us what's going on.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say real quick, I'm glad we're having this discussion, especially with you here, Garfield, because I think this kind of shows you don't 100% know our position, or at least my position, since I'm the one in this video talking, because everything you brought up just now, such as, African Americans having 70 to 60% E1B1A and African Americans having 30 to 40% R1B, African Americans being a hodgepodge of different populations, the E1B1A marker being pretty much an African lineage, and the fact that the Israelites are really just Canaanites in academia. Pretty much everything you just said here, I already said in this video. If when Brian plays it, you're actually going to see everything you just said. I pretty much already said. You'll be surprised. We might actually share a lot of similar points. If you look at the video, you'll see here in a second. But anyways, going to your question, Brian, what I wanted to do when I came on was I was looking at the conversation between Covey and some of the other brothers, and I just wanted to, and also there was a lady who had jumped on. I think her name is Nefertali, an Israelite, a pretty famous Israelite, and
you mean
she brought up.
Naphtali?
Yes, I believe that's her
fullback
name.
game is strong.
Yeah, she's a pretty influential Israelite. A lot of people know her. She's been on Zion Lex and people like that. I said Covey, Covey, not Cody, Covey. Anyways, and she brought up DNA, and she brought up that the Jews and the Arabs are Canaanites, and I'm going with an assumption here. I assume she brought that up to sort of, discount the Jewish and Arab people as being legitimate Israelites. That's what I'm assuming is the reason why she wanted to bring up, some DNA. And so that's why I jumped on stage, because,
she says the Canaanites are white, brother. She said the Canaanites are white people. That's what she teaches.
Oh, that's okay. So yeah, I assumed that she was, trying to discount the Jewish people by saying that they're Canaanites. So I was right. Okay. But that's why I jumped on, because she was, trying to demarcate the Jews. And I don't think it's one thing to claim and say that you're part of the ancient Israelite people, but you don't have to discount other people. You don't have to be anti-Semitic, because it's a pretty typical anti-Semitic thing to do, to kind of say Jews aren't Jews. And I wanted to go on and just say, hey, let's get this thing straight. When it comes to the Canaanites in academia, Canaanites are Israelites. I bring this up later. And when it comes to the genome of the Canaanites, they're pretty much half Zagros mountain people, like from the Southern Caucasus, that migrated around the time of the Bronze Age, as well as indigenous Natufians, or the descendants of Natufians, that admixed together in the Bronze Age, that created that Levantine, that ancient Levantine genome that's called, the Canaanite genome. And I explained that in the video. I don't want to repeat myself, because I'm sure you're going to play the video here in a second. But that's why I came on, to kind of like, bring it back a little bit, slow down the conversation when it comes to genetics, and slow down the conversation when it comes to trying to claim how you're an Israelite, and kind of say, it's probably best to just assume that your ancestors could have been converts, or your ancestors could have been part of the Commonwealth of Israel, because trying to figure out that you are the direct paternal descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is virtually impossible, simply because of the fact that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and I explained this in the video, but some people might be new, so I'm just going to explain it again. But Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, specifically Abraham, had many descendants. So let's say that Abraham is, let's just say he's a downstream of E1B1B. Well, there's many branches of E1B1B. So Abraham can't be the entire branch of E1B1B. We'll have to find a specific subclade within E1B1B for Abraham to be. So let's say that it's E-123. And, again, I explained this earlier. Even within the branch of E-123, there are various different subclades. And so we'll have to find this very specific subclade that Abraham is. But on top of that, let's say that in the subclade of E-123, he's E-84. Just because you have E-84, thus proving that you descend from Abraham, doesn't necessarily mean you'll be a descendant of Jacob, of the Israelites, because you could be a Moabite who carries E-84, or you could be an Ishmaelite, or an Edomite, or a Midianite, or another ite. Tons of different descendants. So trying to narrow down and be like, I know I'm a paternal descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that is impossible. It's better to just, for two things. One, you can be a spiritual Israelite, and you can just say, you come into the lineage of Abraham via a particular Bible verse in Galatians, which says that you could be of the seed of Abraham. Which is why I call myself the Hebrew of Israel, because I'm using that verse from Galatians. But anyways, So yeah, that's why I wanted to come on that night. Last night was to kind of, slow down the conversation and give a different view of this Israelite identity spectrum and idea. It's better to just say you're part of the mixed multitude than say, hey, I know emphatically that I am a paternal descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because you really don't know. And also it doesn't even matter. Like the actual descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, in my opinion, are very, very small in number. And I always bring this up. I believe that the Samaritans in Israel today are the best candidates for the paternal descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Specifically, the Samaritans, they carry the E marker, E-M 78 downstream. Specifically, the downstream within E-V 12. But yeah. Yeah, all African Americans can definitely cannot be Israelites. I've said this many times. Some African Americans could descend from Israel because we're a hodgepodge of people. There are African Americans that carry the J marker, African Americans that carry E1B1B. Who am I to say that they don't have a chance? They could. So yeah, but most African Americans, and I explain this in the video when Brian plays it, they carry E1B1A, which is had its origins in East Africa, migrated into the Green Sahara, then moved south as desertification took place. But yeah,
real quick, if we can, though, we got to explain why. So something you keep saying, and that I keep saying, that Yap keeps saying, is that we can't discount there being any groups and whatnot coming off the slave ship with Israelite DNA or Hebrew DNA, like so you just said like from Moabite to Ishmaelite, all that's under the branch of Hebrew DNA. Anything's Abrahamic with that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we say that we say that we can't say no for a reason, and people need to understand why we say such, right? And if we could, so you were talking about the population that made up the Canaanite population, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was roughly talking about like we see evidence of that population and related populations moving into North Africa. What was it, like 12,000 years ago, and then moving into West Africa, like in the Western Sahel, etc., and into populations that many of us are related to, etc. 8,000-9,000 years ago, like for the last 8,000-9,000 years, correct?
Yeah, correct. There's always been back and forth movement from the Middle East into Africa, since forever.
So to the extent that 20% of the haplogroups in DNA that we see in this part of the Western Sahel, etc., are non-African haplogroups, correct?
Oh yeah, that's true. Even in sub-Saharan Africa, there are non-African haplogroups.
Yeah.
Like you find U's and stuff like that.
But it's getting there coming through the Sahel, correct?
Yeah. From the Sahel, or even as far back as the Green Sahara. But yeah, definitely the Sahel. Even
let me interject for 1 second. You see, those questions I'm disappointed because those are leading questions. I've never heard you, Cove, or Avery put out a situation when it doesn't make sense that these people were Israelites. And I'm saying to you that because you hold to the Bible, and because Avery holds to the Bible, you guys don't have a balanced approach. A balanced approach would be not asking him about 20% to try to insinuate people are Israelites. The fact of the matter is, academia and everybody's laughing at African Americans for this claim. People would laugh you out of a classroom. You see, the issue is,
I don't think you heard me.
Let me finish. The problem that we're having whenever anyone comes on Berean is that people are saying they are Israelites and they are putting out information. The issue is there has not been any evidence put forward that anybody in academia could repeat. The only thing that people are holding on to that really is because the gentleman hold on to the Igbos because of some letter that was written and say that these people might possibly be Jews, and a lot of people that came to America was Igbos. That's the strongest argument they possibly have. But the issue don't take away the fact that Jews were in West Africa. They were practicing Judaism. They were separated from African tribes in almost 99% of the instances that they're mentioned in any documentation. They are shown whether they practice a incorrect version of DNA. Hold on a second. They have an incorrect. I'm not saying nothing about a Jewish DNA. I never said nothing about a Jewish DNA.
I asked you if you have atheist DNA.
No, I never said that.
No, I'm asking you if you have atheist DNA.
Hold on a second. Let me finish my point. What I am saying is No one has put forward anything of substance to make the case for this, because the ultimate goal is to say African Americans are Israelites. Well, that has not been proven in science, with nothing, linguistics, nothing. And what we're doing is we're arguing a straw man the whole time and trying to make the case that, hey, maybe this is possible, because we want to be those people in the Bible, because it's sexy to be chosen. That's what this is all about. When everybody knows all the cultural elements that we see coming over on the slave ships after being on the ship for 3 months. We see Yoruba, we see Akan, we see Igbo, we see Angola traditions, we see people from Congo, we see all these traditions, but we don't see nothing practicing Hebrew Israelite, no Hebrew or Israelite tradition. This is a game, bro. Stop being a part of the game or a pawn for a lie that's been told for the last 30 to 40 years and maybe 100 years. The African Americans are not connected to those people. The only connection you might can find is a converted one, which you guys have mentioned earlier, and that's the only way. And if you read Soul of Judaism by Dr. Bruce Haynes, who I've had on my channel 4 to 5 times, he points out who are the Africans who were converted and where they were and how they got to start following Judaism in the Western world. That's the only connection I see with black folks. But as far as bloodline, it is a silly, it's an unscientific conversation that only Bible believers push. You don't find non-Bible believers pushing it, because it's not. There's no reality to it.
From our debate, what was any source that you ever disproved that I brought up?
Oh, the source. There's many sources that you use. The one you used about the Muslims, him not praying. You said he prayed 3 times a day when the source actually said he prayed 4 times a day. No, then you use another source. Hold on, let me break it down to you. You claim that the source says that the dude was speaking was speaking Hebrew, when that source was debunked by the actual source where it comes from, because it was said to be a fabrication made by. It was part of the book that says it was a fabrication. Did you come out and tell the people that was fake?
It wasn't fake. What are you talking about? We went back to a newspaper article. You and I spent 2 months on the phone tracking that down.
Hold on a second. Was Ibn Said speaking Hebrew in a church?
He was reported by a church member that spoke Hebrew and Arabic, yeah.
Which church member reported that?
I can't give you all the details off that right now, off the top of my head.
No. You see, now you're not being honest. Which church member said that?
How am I not being honest?
Where did the source? There's no church member that said that.
You got to breathe. You got to breathe. I'm about to respond to everything you just said. I'm about to respond to everything you just said, because it's the most unscientific.
Bro, the source. Hold on.
Garfield, I just let you talk. You just asked me to stop. Garfield, I just let you talk for a long time.
The source that you said.
Garfield, I just let you talk for a long time.
Bro, you just said right now I'm burying
Garfield,
that's a lie.
I just let you talk for a long time, but why are you so scared to let me talk?
Why are you lying though?
If you're gonna say that I'm lying, then let me speak. Because what you're saying is the most unscholastic, unscientific thing I've ever heard. And so I'm going to remind you of the stuff that we talked about and stuff that's scientifically proven that no one's ever disproven to my face ever, not once. Not once. So in the debate we had, right? You're talking about Igbos. Did I make any argument for Igbos or no? I argued about a specific group of people from a certain part of Africa, the Western Sahel, which makes up 25% of the slave trade. 1 out of every 4 people that came off the slave ship came from that part of West Africa. That made up the large percentage of the people that came to North America specifically. In that debate, you were specifically shown sources from the corpus of early Arabic sources in West Africa that specified the Jews in the West African slave trade at that time. Again, the Ganawa, etc. You were showing sources talking about the Wolof people, Jews connected to the Wolof, connected to the Mandinka, connected to the Fulani, of which me and Ibri were just talking about. No leading questions. We were discussing a paper that we went over on the Gap channel a few weeks ago, where it was breaking down the people from this part of West Africa are shown to have Western Asian DNA and non-African haplogroups at a clip of 20%. And that Western Asian DNA was coming in for the last 8,000-9,000 years. So again, now I asked you, do you have atheist DNA? Why did I ask that? Because you keep making the fallacious the genetic fallacy assumption that you have to be a practicing Jew in order to have descended from Jews. That's why Jews have this concept of something called an anusim, people who started practicing other traditions and then come back from that. And so again, the same source is talking about these Jews that are part of this West African slave trade that's in the Maghreb. Of the populations are still there, fam, still there. That they converted to Islam and other religions and whatnot, right? And so again, that you don't have to be a practicing Jew to come off the slave ship to descend from people with those genetics and whatnot, right? And so what me and Ibri keep talking about, what Yakin keeps talking about is, again, it doesn't make sense to claim that you're a bloodline descendant of any Israelite, etc., right? Because we don't have that DNA on file yet to be able to say who is and who is not. What you can do is trace yourself back to people in West Africa who have connections to such, right? And if you do so, we talk about being reverts and converts to the thing. You're not an actual. You're talking about being connected to a national concept and whatnot, right? You've not one time ever disproved anything I've ever said. Go back to the debate. Show me what part of the debate you disproved anything.
Let me say this. The reason why I allow you to live so long and I never made a video response to what you said that was fallacious is out of respect for you. But now that you're lying, this is what I'm going to do right now. The first thing is, are you familiar with 50% of the people in Mali being killed because of famine and different things while they were in that region in the time period that you're talking about? Because you don't know that because I asked you. So when he's talking about there were people migrating with genetics, how come we don't see that genetics in African Americans that he's talking about? The reason why we don't see it, because it's a fallacy he's pushing. You notice he said people from 8,000 years was migrating. Nobody doubts that. So show us that evidence in the African Americans that came over. You are pushing a lie because you want that. Let me finish, brother. Because you want to push a lie. The second lie, let me debunk something else. Billy Simons. They said Billy Simons was an expert in Jew, in Hebrew and Arabic. There's absolutely no sources, and you never saw that email when the premier scholar said it. I never showed you that, but you said that live. So that I just debunked that. Billy Simons was never an expert in Arabic or Hebrew. That was made up. That's from the premier expert of Billy Simons' history that you used my email and showed. Let me bring out another part. Peter Mark book, Jews in Senegambia were protected. The Radhanite Jews from Persia are traders who were also protected. They're living in Mali. I keep telling everybody, Jews, when they're in West Africa, are merchants, they're traders, they're middlemen, or they're sleeping with African women. That's all Jews are doing. So when the Jews slept with the African women weren't considered Jews. They had to do something called a special conversion to make the children of those African women become Jews. So when that happened, that's when you start seeing the Luso Africans, and they became the main people who were the middlemen for the slave trade because they slept with the African king's daughters so that they could have like an inside connect. So now you're saying now that these people are converts and they came on slave ships. You can prove that because people are Muslims. Oh, they must have been a part of this because most people came over from this area. The most people that actually came to North America, as far as the United States, came from the Central African, the Congo region, Angola. That's where most of the people came from. I could just bring it up on the screen and show everybody. That's where they came from here. So don't try to put that. Most of those people probably end up in Brazil. So if you're talking about the 5 million that went to Brazil and the majority, that's fine. Those people over there are not claiming anything because they had over 5,000 maroon communities, and not one of those people showed a tradition of Islam. They showed a tradition of following the Orisha mixed with Roman Catholicism. You can't find that over there. So you can't find no Judaism, even if they're converted. If they're converted, as you say, beloved, so if they're converted and they came on the slave ship, wouldn't they at least practice something? Show me one piece of evidence. You didn't show anything. You had the presupposition that they are. You said Omar ibn Said spoke Hebrew. You said it's in a newspaper. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I got to be clear to everybody right now. Omar ibn Said never spoke no Hebrew. It's a part of the book, the source that he used. I showed him the source. This is what I'm trying to say. This brother is being dishonest. I showed him the source, the primary. It's a part of the book that talks about fabrications about Omar ibn Said. The dude never spoke no Hebrew, bro. There's no evidence of it. Oh, you're going to bring out a newspaper. I bet you can't show the newspaper now. Shut me up and show me the newspaper. It don't exist. You're making it up. He's speaking Hebrew in church, and in his biography, he's saying he could barely speak Arabic or remember his Arabic, much less he's going to speak Hebrew. Why didn't he mention it? Because he never spoke Hebrew. But because you want to prove Garfield wrong, you're so hungry to prove Garfield wrong. This is why now I can't respect your scholarship. We got to be honest. So now let's look at this now. Let's bring back Billy Simons again. So Billy Simons is a Hebrew, is an expert that they like to use. My brother, what do you call his name? He's a part of the Yap Gang. He brought it out years ago about Billy Simons. But they keep saying and reporting that he's a Hebrew scholar when there's no evidence he's a Hebrew scholar. It's just something that's repeated, and it came down to us. And as a matter of fact, the source that talked about Omar ibn Said said in the source they might have mistakenly taken Omar ibn Said for Billy Simons. That's what the source says. The source that you use. And then you said, oh, he must have been Jewish because he only prayed 3 times a day. The source don't say he prayed 3 times a day. The source said he prayed 4 times a day. So you was wrong about that. So everything I talked about, you've been wrong about. And there's much more. I could bring up. No, you said, yes, you did, bro.
I never said once that he was Jewish because he prayed 3 times a day.
4 times. You said he prayed 3 times a day, and the source actually pointed out 4 times. He pointed out he actually meant 5 times a day. So you're saying that he's Hebrew, he's practicing Hebrew tradition because he prayed 3 times a day. That's what Jews are doing. So almost everything you said, bro, I got a whole slide showing everything that you said was wrong. Almost everything you said was wrong. Everything. And you said, prove something. You said everything. 99% of the stuff you said that in that dialogue, you were wrong about. Completely wrong. And you're trying to push this whole thing about Mali. And the most people that came to the United States didn't come from Mali. They didn't come from that region. So you're not even making sense
come from?
African Americans. No,
Where did Salib Ali come from?
You're trying. No, hold on. Let me finish my point. One last thing, Barry. Let me share this on the screen real quick. One last thing. Let me just share this on the screen, and we're done. Everything you said, bro. Everything you said was a lie. It wasn't true. And then you lied today.
I didn't lie about a single thing.
Yes, you did. Show the newspaper. You know what? I would never come up and read it again. Show that newspaper. Show that newspaper where it says that he's a Hebrew. This is right here. This is all the regional origins of Africans that arrived. It already came from where? Western Central Africa. That's where the majority come from. Look how many came from Gambia. 89,000. That's a large amount. I don't deny that. But look at this though. Remember, 50% of the population was killed out, and some of these people actually he forgot to tell y'all that. Because remember, the Ghana kingdom was selling slaves to the Jews who that way because of the Trans-Saharan route. A lot of people forget that. So when the Jews if they converted, they converted. We know Jews converted to Islam. But the point of the matter is wherever the Jews were, they were always separate. We are aware of that. So now because you follow Islam, you want us to believe, you know what, maybe because I got this marker, I'm a Jew. This is just ludicrous. There's no existed. Nobody would be claiming that they're Israelite. Nobody would read. If there's a picture, there's no argument. Hey, let me tell you something.
So if you look at the bottom of the
I'm going to show y'all the source
I said 25% of the slaves in the slave trade came from the Western Sahel. At the bottom of the screen, you see this is 20% on one side, like Senegambia. Sierra Leone, which is right next to Senegambia. Again, this is an area where it's heavy with the Wolaf Mandinka right there, man. Again, a pseudo always dies at his own source. He said people didn't come from Mali, right? So again, right there in South Carolina, you have a slave named Salib Bilal who came from Messina, who came from next to Timbuktu.
I never said nobody came from
5
Mali. I
minutes
said
ago.
you're forgetting that they had famine and a lot of people died out. But you
You
want
just
them to
said-
be,
Bruh,
Israelites.
This is so embarrassing.
Show and prove anybody coming off a slave ship following the tradition. Show it. You can't show it because it don't exist. You're living a lie, bro.
You know why you're throwing a tantrum
You're
right
dying today. You're dying right now. And I'm going to show
Okay,
you.
if I'm dying,
right
let me
now.
ask you a
I'm gonna show
question.
right
If I'm
now.
dying, let me ask you one question. What was the tribe that Bilali Muhammad, Salib Bilali, Ayuba Diallo came from, etc.? What was the tribe that they came from?
Where was the tribe that who came from?
What was the tribe that Salib Bilali from Messina in Mali? What was the tribe that Bilali Muhammad, again from West Africa, etc.? Where's
So that particular tribe
what's their
means
tribe?
he's
They're all
Jewish?
Fulani. Ayuba Salam.
So that means he's Jewish
They're
because
all
he's
Fulani, right?
Fulani.
They're all
That
Fulani,
means
right?
Hey,
They're all Fulani, right?
Marine, ask him because he's not going to answer me.
They're all
Tell him to
Fulani,
show you
right?
somebody coming off the slave ship.
They're all Fulani, right?
Practicing this tradition.
They're all Fulani, correct?
Are practicing this tradition.
They're all Fulani,
show us,
correct?
just show us one person because you can't, bro. That's the point. This and this happened and that. It's garbage. You just want them to be some sort of Jew that can, you're trying to give these people hope for something that's not there. It's not there.
Right. This is so sad. You're having to
There's
lie on my own argument. Just to make your
Marine,
point.
3 months from now, right? Do you remember everything from 3 months from now? But you do remember you were Christian, right?
I remember
Now you're
everything
telling me
from
you're on a slave
Yes,
ship,
yes, I'm
Marine. Let me
listening.
talk to Marine for a second. Marine, you on a slave ship for 3 months. You can remember you Yoruba, you can remember you Igbo, you can remember you Congo, you can even remember you Fulani. You can remember all these different things, but you can't remember that you were a converted Jew. You don't have no tradition showing that you were a Jew coming off the ship. You can't show nothing. Bruh, yo, save that for somebody else, bro, not Garfield. You done, you dead today. Dead. And I'm going to show the source and show everybody you are a liar right now. You should have never lied.
Please do.
Live on the ear. I'm going to show it
Please
right
do.
now. I'm going to show it right now.
Please
right
do.
now, you gonna show it right now.
So everybody, you spent 2
I'm gonna
months
make
with
him
me
out
on
to
the
be a
phone
liar
trying to
right
track
now.
down this source.
I'm gonna make him out to be a liar right now. Give me a second.
When y'all are done,
So while he's looking up the source, let me explain what he got wrong about all the arguments from the actual debate we had, which you can go see on my channel. You can see here, right? So I never said that Omar ibn Said was a Jew because he prayed 3 times. Those are Christians that they prayed 3 times a day, and that the Sufi Muslims, they prayed 3 times a day. And I also pointed to the fact that these people went back to a Tarobe clerisy in West Africa, which is the most Jewish form of Islam you're ever going to see, and showed that they practiced the tithing system amongst their clerisy. I also showed, again, that these people came from that same slave class in the Maghreb that the Jews were. I mean, he's not touching any of that now. He's touching on stuff I never even said, and I never even brought up Billy Simons in this thing, right?
Yes, you did, bro. You showed the emails. You showed my emails.
When did I say Billy Simons in this
conversation? You showed the emails about Billy Simons,
right?
Bro.
I did in our debate, and again in this conversation.
To say what? Why were you showing Billy
Garfield,
Simons?
can you please?
Why were you showing Billy Simons, bro? You are a liar, bro.
Garfield, then let me lie if I'm lying. Then calmly let me lie if I'm lying.
And this guy is a believer.
Because everything I'm saying is on camera.
Bro, this is horrible.
Well, then be horrible on you, bro.
You brought up Billy Simons to say Billy Simons.
You're interjecting because I'm cutting all your nonsense. Can you
no,
please?
No, you're not. You got
saying your mic is breaking up. Anyway, Garfield, poor connection. I have a poor connection.
I mean, personally, I can hear Garfield on my end. I don't.
Garfield is fine.
Let him cook. All right, well, let Garfield get ready to show the slide to get Garfield to share this thing. More. You said he lied.
And talking about scientific stuff. Garfield's coming in with this whole fallacious argument. Oh, they're only talking about this because they believe in the Bible and he believes in the crop up. That's all ridiculous. In the same debate we had at Garfield.
Oh, wait, hold on. I might have to shut it down a bit. Hold on a bit. I got a poor connection.